Hello everyone. How are you all? There most likely won't be a whole lot of preamble today. I would like to get into the game as soon as possible. Alright, safety pins, Willow Thornheart, Scribbler's Sapphire System. It's nice to see you all. Let me boot up the game. Lunar Rabbits, that's it. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Jones. Our main headlines tonight.
Alright, how's the volume?
Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus.
What a wild ride this has been. Well, that's a very blunt question.
I'm glad that you can change the colors for each thing.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
Building IKEA furniture, that's fine.
Now you start to see it.
Alright, last time, the dystopian government started. There have been sanctions on our country. And things are starting to break down. One of the newscasters held a bunch of people at gunpoint and asked us to play a resistance tape, and then ended his own life on television, but we cut away for that. I don't know. There's not much else to say, I believe. Day 297, a tape to remember. You wake up still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night, what you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa between Sam and Susie. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night. After Jeremy, everything that happened. Sam shakes their head. I wonder what they'll do without him now. Are you okay? Oh, I wonder what they'll do with him now. Lock him up, he's dead. I can't shake the feeling he might be right. Sam looks to the kids and back at you. We saw that you chose to play that tape. They paused before continuing, and I can't help but wonder why. It seemed like the right thing to do. What? That's not good enough. Disrupt our bad people. I can't believe you did that. Charlie's outburst seems to come from nowhere, and no one in the room is prepared for it. Do you even think about how this stuff affects people? You're a fucking idiot. Sam tries to interject Charlie, but he's already slammed the door. Charlie was always a bit black and white about this sort of thing. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you are in an impossible situation, and somehow you managed to make the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. Only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticize what you did, and I'm proud of you. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. You take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's all a lot to take in. You're not sure you've fully processed what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it all. You look to your daughter. I know this is an incredibly difficult thing and we don't always agree, but I do think you made the right choice. Susie smiles at you. You had to play it, there was just no other option. You put an arm around her and give her an affectionate squeeze. It's nice you've at least got some company. The TV is playing through some old Western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you'd hoped. You were never going to please everyone. So, a few weeks later. A questionable choice. You got off work early today, a rare enough occurrence to put a spring in your step. As you close the front door, you can hear excited conversation bubbling from the kitchen. Clearly someone's propped up around for a cuppa on Sam's Friday night off. Hopefully there's still some biscuits left. As you enter, you see Sam, Susie, and Zach are all laughing and discussing something. As soon as she sees you, your daughter turns and enthusiastically presents her hand, which sports a prominent diamond ring. Look, Zach proposed, we're engaged. Oh, I see. That's different. Your remark is met by an uncomfortably long silence as Susie and Sam share a knowing glance. Well, it was nice seeing you. I guess we'd better be on our way. Apparently we moved quickly, so we obviously can't stay too long. Sam sees them to the front door before coming back to the kitchen, shaking their head at you. Really, Alex, you couldn't even let them have this? To be fair, it has only been 6 months. Hello, Callisto. And hello, Tammy. How are you? A burden born. It's been 6 months since you and Sam last discussed Grandma's ever-increasing medical costs, and Emma, whilst very pleasant, has proved an expensive a nurse as you'd feared. You can't quite believe that it's been that long already, but the sanctions are really starting to hit home now, and unfortunately the government's only solution to help the ailing elderly is a day trip to a transition center. Why does everything always seem to come back to money? But luckily we have a ton of it. This time it's you at the kitchen table, surrounded by bills and paperwork, when Sam comes to join you. Today Emma told you that there was really nothing more you could do, except an expensive experimental new treatment that might not even help. Sometimes your mom wants a treatment, more often she talks about visiting a transition center. It's hard to know what she really wants. Sam puts a hand on yours. What are we going to do, honey? She's your mother, it has to be your choice. I mean, we have the money, we might as well get the treatment. It's a difficult choice. You never know when you might need that money, particularly for the kids. What if Charlie gets in an accident? What if Zach and Susie's new house floods and they need your help? But what if you could give them a few more good years with their grandmother? Surely that's worth the cost. I see no reason if we have the money. And it says that she wants it sometimes, so... perhaps she can take the treatment sometimes. The 20-week war.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here. Hope all's well with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast. So keep an eye on the interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important, now more than ever.
We have a new setup.
Out of a can of condensed milk, a cow's tongue, and some rhubarb. Not one to miss.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
What does that mean?
You have to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war. Politics in general, really.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me, but...
I mean... Oh, this must be played. And of course, Crazy Neil.
We're at Team HQ right now. I think she's giving a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the late news.
It's our
Oh,
nightly
great.
walk
So they get the
from
brains and we
late
get the
news
performing
time,
monkey.
Followed at 9:25 by our unsettling
Sometimes
play,
you sound just
Katie
like
Went
him, you know.
Abroad, which tells the cautionary tale
How
of
are
one
you?
brave young lady's battles to survive the cruel
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Rumpled old sod.
Don't. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces...
When did war start?
...battle of the World Council's illegal blockade.
Oh, the blockade?
Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported today, and as the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will, tragically, only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food program...
What a good game.
...from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon. They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. Community cohesion officers found themselves challenged by the unruly mob element always present at Disrupt events, but thankfully managed to keep violent incidents to a minimum. And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former National Nightly News anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Penton Ridge Prison, while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away, begin. Following his very public breakdown on this programme 10 weeks ago, the once-loved presenter was taken into custody by the Community Cohesion team. Let's hope doctors can help the once great man. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week, and people hurting up and down the
title
country,
sequence.
I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Oh, interference. Did he actually live, or is this like a dream or something? I think he may have actually lived. I mean, I will say I went back and I looked at, I watched the whole thing, and it seemed like he might have missed.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C.
Oh, they could be lying about him being in jail.
Sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolfe. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old mum used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. Shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you? Tell us what brought about this new
Oh no.
C and I were watching, you know, the night the blockade began, when Jeremy Donaldson, well, you know, and it was blistering hot, as I'm sure.
Okay, stay out of the orange.
And I were a bit wheezy
Oh.
from all the cigars and all that. And Mrs. C turns to me after, you know, after the signal dropped away, and she was in floods of tears. And she says, "Peace, dead." She's dead. I couldn't go on without you. She's dead.
Oh, and you can choose to only broadcast this.
And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. My birthdays. Weddings. State dinners. As well as that, I got this useless bloody bag which doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Perhaps the resistance would be more worth watching.
of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times. On that we can all agree. There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territory at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Some of those forms are bastard long.
All in it together.
What? All in it together. Oh, yeah. Also, it doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What? Did you know about this, Gail?
No one tells me anything, Peter. You should know that. Why don't you know?
Well, leaving that for a moment, it says on this card that a body like yours must take some planning to achieve. What's your morning routine?
Well, I have a frigid morning routine.
Okay.
That Jeremy Donaldson had a very is undeniable, but rather than law enforcement, wouldn't medical experts be the one to call? Of course, that was never going to happen. Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown because he simply couldn't take what Advance were doing anymore. He knew that the national nightly news was being transformed from a bastion of truth into a frivolous chat show. And like a mother watching her child fall under a predator's spell, he couldn't stand by and allow that to happen. He chose to stand up to Advance, and their response will be to destroy him. He will be discredited, shamed, tried and convicted. They will break him as an example to us all. But today, disruptors named him an officer in absentia. We welcome him to our ranks. We are with you, Jeremy. You do not.
Well, that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know, I used to really like you, but you were a breath of fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
you
the
imagine?
usual. No, what I mean is.
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
Well, I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
I have to censor pubes?
What else? A little piece of my life, do you want to rustle through? Get out, refill my last. Come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well,
Is he drunk? Almost certainly.
out to Little C, but I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is. And do you think the C stands for?
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C and many a fine single malt. I want for nothing.
Except for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the Culture Spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back after this. 1 minute back, everybody. And that is what happens when you wander.
He's been drunk in every appearance, I think, yes.
I don't think anyone's supposed to know. When you mentioned it, Bozeman's face turned a colour that I think you call embolism.
Am I in trouble?
Bozeman? Nah, you're like the daughter he never had. Suppose the higher-ups might fire him, though.
Who's Lil C?
Or if there's any justice, me.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilised. I read books.
Second grade C. I will say that is worth it.
Hey, look now, this is the life. Just like the brochures say, you can't cheat on your wife.
You'll no doubt have spotted the updated mixing disc. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Okay.
If you could be me now out on a foreign shore, down in every crack and with my butt burned roar, I've left the kids back home so I can really unwind on the cheapest cruise line I ever designed. All I can say is bam, just look where you are. A cabin will not wham. Here comes the meteor. It's the best ship. Oh yes, ma'am. We've never deceived ya, and the court says
I've never heard of it.
Pleasure cruise booked during the military blockade. That is very true.
Sure good.
The kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
Live in 10 seconds. Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What? 5, 4, 3. Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C! May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
Ooh, what's the regime?
My manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Oh, well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that.
Yeah, she does have an Ariana Grande look.
To that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really. It was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, maybe.
Okay, so she's sort of Miley Cyrus as well.
Told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Uh-huh. So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nicer underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
So soon, after the last one?
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview. is called Cry for Help, and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops. And it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh. There she goes. Blimey. All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough, and I hate it sometimes, and I hate myself. I just want to, like, cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights, between, like, my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse, I think things could have been different, you know, like, better. But I don't know.
Sure.
I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in
Yeah, you have to admire somebody who
my
just
favourite girl
tells it like it is, I suppose.
But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it,
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what, it's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
Oh,
good.
Then. Well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here is Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
It's the Force's favorite, the queen of teams, here to break in your blockades, Lil C.
I like how many musical segments there are in this game.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing, only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me, nobody foreign member. Don't stop your morning drill, there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when
This is,
I ain't no Vickers, but I come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die at two. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no Vickers, but I come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and dump them there. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
no, it's not subtle at all. But you know, propaganda doesn't need to be subtle.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Lil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
The enemy is all around us. A frightened world that looks at what we
Can
have
I just
achieved
say,
and dares not
thank you
let us
so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know. To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain respect. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jean shorts?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together. And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to stop needing it.
together, that we encourage and educate.
A+ segment.
This next section will need you to use all 4 of the sound effects to help things along. Try and pick the most appropriate one at each given moment. The actors can't hear what you're doing, so they'll be trusting you to make the right choices.
No, not anymore. I'm better than that now.
Is that Greg?
Just keep adding flowers until it...
Oh lord, it's Greg.
Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
We cannot lose this war. So join the winning team.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePloon now. How'd you like that?
Well, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Ah! Oh, God, no. No. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Wow. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
You have to play a sound effect.
I did.
Alex, if you keep this up, you'll ruin the notice board, and the actors won't be happy.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar.
Oh, it's him.
At closing time.
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy
mailbox,
helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck?
Oh, earthquake? I'm Bong Rat, yeah. I think Bong Rat is a good nickname. What's happening? Oh my god.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we're receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we're picking up reports from across the continent of what appears
to snuggle hugs.
Oh God, what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. I'm being told that we're experiencing some power fluctuations as a result, so apologies to any interruption to the broadcast for you at home. And now I am told that we are going live to team headquarters, for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury at any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions...
I mean, this seems more important than whatever Alan James has to say.
The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender. Your territories will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed.
Yikes.
But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory, or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours.
Is it?
We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
Well, okay, so there you have it. Advance making a brave move that looks likely to end the war in this, its 20th week. There's a lot to take in here, and I know you, like me, will be wondering if this is too much. If we've gone too far. But I'm thinking of our sick and ill, denied their medicines, the children with no food on their plates, and the body bags returning from the front line. And I ask myself if without some big, bold gesture it would ever stop, and I do not think it ever would. We elected Advance to make this country better for us all, and it was working. But then the rest of the world looked at us and they said this cannot be seen to succeed. And they brought their warships and their tanks and their planes just to make sure that we were instead seen to suffer, to make sure no one anywhere would ever attempt this again. So, to my mind, our government have taken the only path available to them. A difficult decision for their hearts to bear, but one that ultimately we can respect, because
ratings are through the roof.
Safe. And while this is unquestionably a dark night, it may indeed presage the dawn of a new future. My name's Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
What a broadcast.
Do you ever get the feeling that you're making history?
I bet Crazy Neil feels that way. Come on, I only got a B on that. I've received my full wages, current wealth, things are looking up. Shares are, of course, up. I left for a minute, it seems I missed something big. Yes, Advance just blew up nuclear devices in 4 major European cities in the continent. Because I suppose I haven't explicitly said this is England, but... Oh, okay, these are the ones that we saw, so we didn't see other ones.
Is to be put on trial. Let's all think about that for a moment. One of the nation's most respected and beloved truth seekers is to be put on trial. And for what? waving a gun around he clearly had no intention of ever using. That Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown is undeniable, but rather than law enforcement, wouldn't medical experts be the one to call? Of course, that was never going to happen. Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown because he simply couldn't take what Advance were doing anymore. He knew that the national nightly news was being transformed from a bastion of truth into a frivolous chat show. And like a mother watching her child fall under a predator's spell, he couldn't stand by and allow that to happen.
Okay, we saw the rest of that. This game has so much content to watch.
Good evening, I'm Megan.
Oh.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
Oops. I think I left the game rather than continue it. Who is this? A proportionate response. The rest of your shift passes in a blur, with the same words going round and round in your head. Operatives working for advanced detonated nuclear explosives. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into your driveway with no memory of the journey home. The light in the front door is on. Clearly someone is still awake. The door creaks open into the living room and you find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at the TV. The screen is off and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat behind them and put a reassuring hand on their shoulder. They start at your touch, breaking them out of their stupor. They attempt to smile, but you can see it's strained. Sorry, I didn't hear you come in. I was thinking about... Sam stops shaking their head. So many people, I can't quite believe it. I know, it's... terrible, nothing short of an atrocity. All those people, those poor people. How can anyone think this is okay? Sam's eyes are blazing with anger, and when they look to you, it's clear they're expecting agreement. I know we've never seen eye to eye with government in this house, but I never thought they were capable of this. What if we just completely changed gears now? We were pro disrupt for you know, most of the last 200 days, but now that Advance has nuked several major cities, oh, it was us or them. Alright, they've forced us to stop in Advance hadn't stopped in. There had to be another way. Killing millions of people is never the answer. Relief sweeps across Sam's face. Exactly, no reasoning in the world could make killing so many innocent people the right thing to do. Sam kisses you before heading to the kitchen, calling over their shoulder. We're lucky you can actually make a difference, help people know what's really going on. But is it that simple? Oh, that's like a year. An academic exodus. Ah. It's a seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea of the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yes, another one's gone missing. So what's that bring the total up to now? Oh, I think it should be over 100 at this point. They won't all have been reported or noticed yet. Sorry, what's going on? An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. Another professor went missing from the Queensview University. With all the other disappearances over the last year, scientists, doctors, researchers, she pauses before lowering her voice to a whisper. It's clearly Disrupt targeting the people speaking out against them. I even heard Advanced are struggling to prevent further. A deep, familiar voice from behind you interrupts. What exactly is going on here? Silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice before continuing. I've told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that they're nothing to worry about. Which means they're not our problem, and unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best get back to work. Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else files out of the room. Look, between you and me, this leave it alone malarkey comes from on high. It's out of my hands. So I'd appreciate it if you would refrain from talking about it further, and make sure the news is in line with that school of thought, yes? He gives you a pat on the arm and a smile before leaving to carry on with whatever it is he does during the workday. It seems that for better or for worse, public ownership is now in full swing. The accent was A+, thank you. Oh, that's even longer. Taking large time skips here. Non-binary spouse Sam for the one, yes. We and our spouse both. Whatever gender the viewer wants them to be. Day 850, a career in the making. You drum your fingers on the steering wheel impatiently as you wait for Charlie again. It's great he's enjoying the cohesion cadets and is so enthusiastic, but does he really need to stay behind every week to help? It's your Saturday evening too, after all. Finally you see him exit the hall, a grin on his face. You can't help but smile back, the frustration starting to fade as you see him so genuinely happy. After hugging his friends goodbye, Charlie heads over to the car and gets in, his face flushed with excitement. So, how was... You're interrupted as he can't contain himself any longer. Guess what? What? You play along with a smile. So obviously the Cohesion Cadets is a starting point for becoming a CCO, so we get a head start when applying for that. Charlie gushes, clearly keen on explaining his news, almost tripping over the words in his efforts to tell you. Well, apparently from next year, the top 5% of cadets will be taken into a special program to become CCMs, Community Cohesion Managers, and guess who's going to be in it? He beams at you. I see. And what exactly do these Community Cohesion Managers do? Oh, well, they're basically they need a new liaison team between regular people, the CCOs, and the Betterment Department. And that'll be us. People come to us with concerns, and we'll decide whether they need referrals, and if so, to which department. Cool, right? So you're going to be helping people report on their friends and neighbors. Well, yeah, I guess, but only bad people. It's about helping the community, making it safer for everyone. Charlie frowns at you. You don't like the CCOs or the betterment teams? I'll be honest. I don't trust our son. No, it's not that. Forget about it. Well done, bud. I'm proud of you. Okay, cool. I can't wait to tell everyone else. Charlie sits back in his seat, smiling again, though less enthusiastically than before. Is this really a good thing for him to be doing anymore? Well, I would like to thank our spouse, Sam, for enrolling our son in, you know, the advanced youth. Oh, Lord. Day 872 is sparked to light the flames. After coming downstairs to grab breakfast, peace and quiet tells you the rest of your family must still be asleep. You decide to eat in the living room, watch some TV while you can before someone else monopolizes it. This breaking news: reports are coming in from across the country that large swaths of farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism by the group known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back into the porridge and turn up the volume. In addition to food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcibly extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath, waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. No, nothing. Alex made a mistake there. Nowhere, Alex. Our spouse, Sam. I don't feel we made a mistake. We didn't want him to sign up for it. And we told him no, but he went behind our back to his parent. And his parent said yes. Unfortunately, it appears that the CCOs were ill-prepared for an event like this, and Disrupt seemed much more effective and well-organized in comparison. This feels like a false flag operation, if I'm going to be honest. While most of the targeted locations were thankfully empty of people, given the lateness of the hour, The betterment centers were fully staffed when they came under attack. 17 CCOs and 4 administrative staff lost their lives as a result of the brutal actions of Disrupt last night, with countless more injured and many seriously and rushed to the hospital. Jeremy breakout, perhaps, if he is still alive. A few Disrupt members were captured during the conflicts, but the vast majority seem to have evaded capture so far. More on the story as it develops. You go turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, bleary-eyed with a piece of toast. Anything interesting going on? He gestures to the TV. Mutely, you leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in hushed silence. By the end of the broadcast, they're dubbing it the Night of Fire. Everything's going to be okay, right? I hope so. We'll have to see. So I believe we're 3 years into the story at this point. Almost. Because we started in November. We'll have to look at the calendar when we go in. I am hoping to finish this tonight. Day 912, the Uprising. A year and a half since Liberation Night.
Can you hear me?
What is Liberation Night?
Are you receiving? This is Alan James.
Oh.
The revolution starts
May.
Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest.
He knows me.
I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help, we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
Episode of Just the Job, followed at 10 p.m.
Of course, we know our stocks in here.
So? Just the Job.
So what? How's it doing?
How should I know?
What, you haven't heard from him?
He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So he is still alive.
I missed her birthday.
Your grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest, double homicide of the same bloke. She's right laugh.
Double homicide
right,
of the same bloke.
He's got this far, and your brother was fine. Going in 10 seconds, everybody. I wonder what they're doing to him.
Annoying him, probably.
Not probably, definitely. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf.
Looks a little more dolled up than usual.
Future legend. It's been 40
Is that an okay thing to say?
Conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. Nothing has been heard from the missing journalist since the violent Disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back to betterment after his notorious court appearance.
Notorious court appearance.
Hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in territories 11, 7...
She'd be pretty if she weren't a war crime apologist, perhaps. It's unclear to me whether she genuinely...
CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets, and mandatory grovelling zones. In an annoying show of petulance, the former elites drove their luxury vehicles at 10 miles per hour up and down the motorway in their respective territories.
If she genuinely believed that, or if she was just saying it.
100,000 of their employees. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to advance's radical policies today as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. While it's beyond debate that Disrupt's membership is growing at a rapid pace, not everyone seems to be as energetic about it as spokesperson Alan James would have us believe. Especially not this resident of Grottingberg Zoo in Territory 6, who seems remarkably unenthused about global politics. And a few stories we've been following for a while reach their conclusions tonight. Swing low, sweet chariot. The national outbreak of low testicular syndrome has been finally traced back to the activities of Rimington's Fist. What had at first seemed like a booming success for Sophia Rimington's pet project has ended uncomfortably for men throughout the territories. A slightly tipsy Sophia, who resigned this morning, commented that the men should stop whinging before driving off so quickly that one photographer's foot and both of his nuts were run over in the kerfuffle after falling out of the bottom of his trousers. A painful end to a difficult reign for the youngest female CEO in history. Fun guy. Unexpected news today as two familiar scientists announced the birth of an extraordinary child. The underground struggle of doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensvoord captured the hearts of people around the world. And after an arduous return voyage, which took over a year, the couple say they've never been happier. Baby Dante is said to be healthy, if a bit partial to the airing cupboard.
1 second. Pardon.
Full time. The sporting world mourned the loss of a former hero today at the funeral of footballing star Johnny Hamsleeves. Dogged by controversy throughout his life, the troubled striker's
Is this the final episode?
more erratic in recent years. His tragic and avoidable death at the age of just 29 will come as a blow to his literally tens of fans around the world. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parts for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
You know, I was...
Oh. I forgot I have to keep on it.
This is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader and a great man, the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement.
Oh.
Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick. We're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days.
There.
Now she's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan. You join me here live from the what? Oh.
Oh, he's...
Seems like we've lost some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say...
If we get Patrick back.
The gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, OK, all right. It seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live.
She's very handsome.
Apologies for the technical
Genuinely.
difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet.
Oh, Lord.
Do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make it look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
And it seems like the ceremony is getting underway. Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably. Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham,
Next at 11, Audrey is gay.
before getting his start on television, first moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night chat show PT, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
Apparent liver failure?
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago, moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he'd stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them. That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker.
They really shot all this footage.
A natural leader, but mostly a good man. This glorious, so beautiful and new, this shining beacon of
Thank you, Alex.
equality and
There'll be another
humanity
opportunity to steer public perception soon. It's really starting. You'll know when.
Despite his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed, to me,
Why do I have to flick back and forth here?
will always be the man in his pants.
What does this shot add to anything?
It is my great honour to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Shall we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh.
Now, Alex, control the message.
Mom, we have to get you to safety. Come with us.
I'm not leaving, I can't.
Oi!
You two, come with me. Don't panic. We need a medic here.
No, this is the message.
Stop resisting and we'll let you up.
Not resisting! Ah! Fuck
What are you doing?
I'm not resisting! You all saw! Not resisting!
Turn the camera off. National Night News. We have the right to be here.
Mom!
Keep your eyes open.
Look at me. Look.
What the fuck are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Yes. Medics are coming. You sit down.
I can't hear you. I'm from the National Nightly News.
Well, then you can consider this payback. Salisbury's still here.
Centipedes are requested. Target approaching.
There are more than 10 million people. Justice demands a response.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you.
Fucking
This is what your precious freedom looks like, isn't it? Hold your fire!
Rise up! Take to the streets, the time has come! Stop fires! Break windows!
This is so very well shot.
Lower your weapons!
Mom?
Lower your weapons!
Come on, get out there. What are you doing? Come on!
Turn that off, please, sir. I said, please turn that off.
Shocking scenes from the
Obviously, we go here.
You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters, storm the building, demand elections, demand answers. Be what you were born to be, the once and future free.
What that means by now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Oh.
So well, Alex. But we can turn it around in the next segment.
I think it went fine.
This is becoming a weekly event.
No, it's different tonight. This is the big one.
Great. So there's a revolution happening outside and we're off to dangly fucking parts.
That's journalism, apparently. Can we get set for the next sequence?
Things are going pretty well for us. Sales are through the roof. So we thought what better way to celebrate than to go back
7th grade D.
unnecessary collections and companion magazines.
Join today and
I don't understand what this game wants at times.
sense of entitlement and your own middle initials. And if you call now, you'll also get this
Alex, during this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know. Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
boy, you really can't afford to wait. Even though
Again,
you
this
really
is your new
can
makeup
afford
artist,
to
great.
wait.
No.
The joy of privilege.
10 seconds, everybody.
Not for you. Pleasure Corps is no longer a corporation, but a large series of small legal entities.
Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Is that, Miss Smythe?
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radon. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much?
Oh. It's the old woman.
There, I said it.
In the last sketch.
People, you know, people look at us and they say those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal...
Are we siding with Disrupt? I mean,
people like you.
I feel we have to at this point.
Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Even though I'm sure most people are.
I think it's really
when
good
they
our
play.
screens are filled with such relatable stories. So the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, we really have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard. Our man's on camera 4.
I have a real sense of responsibility.
Get back to the interview, Alex.
I've been entrusted with something precious, and I should use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that we should use this platform
Much like maths.
to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many underprivileged.
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them the go.
How are you doing that? Is that better access to education, or reducing child poverty?
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so. Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
That's a very fun
It's
joke.
a life that's so desirable, then.
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed.
Do you all hear this gunfire and explosions out the window?
I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough for me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the notice board.
Keep an eye on camera 4. Oops.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody... It's time for the go code. Give us 3 boos in a row, Alex. That will start the pincer movement. You might just pull this off. Push forwards! 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Ha! They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to move it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable...
You did it, Alex.
Surely
We're good to go.
strong enough to lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town?
Jeff.
Hi!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately
Ferret?
not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God! Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry.
Fate?
We won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature, but really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fete.
Why would you include a word in the script that you cannot say on television?
Evans.
Why would you make me do work like that?
The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
Oh Lord, is it a song?
Ah, it's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
Fates are traditional public festivities
Play team setting up for a show that will be
held and organized to raise funds for charity.
Coconut shy.
Thank you.
What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again.
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fit.
It's
Precisely.
But you managed.
It's hard to focus on this knowing that there's a revolution going on outside.
Found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
Oh.
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well. That was it, the final ever episode of the Notice Board, and what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh? After party at my place, eh?
What advert is this, Alex? I don't remember passing in your broadcast. I think you made a mistake there.
Whoops.
All kinds of sausage!
Oh.
You've probably seen me on
Hey,
the
you,
news
you.
talking about Advance
After party?
and how progressive their policies are. Well,
That's his,
and I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry.
I failed it, but it's fine.
One last push, Alex. We're closing in. One of the guests in the last section is working with us.
Is she being held hostage?
Censor on our behalf. If you do it right,
My mother
the
is a
final
nurse
orders
and
will
my
be given.
father worked in a factory.
We'll get 3 chances.
I was
Get
the
at least
first
2 of them
member of my
right,
family to
and
go
we're
to
going to win this
university.
thing. It's happening, Alex. Tonight we take it back.
I always envied my friends who had so much more.
That's the Economist
Years
that
of my
was in the first section
So
a
when
fair bit.
France came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do.
In the quarantine episode, she and Alan James were stuck together.
Glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized.
I mean, they're not
naive policies.
great, but
Policies born from
Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
absurd, redistributive.
you know, you do have to you have to admit it's better than the alternative.
The media to defend
That's
the
my shade, is it?
indefensible.
Yeah, this is my
I have
shade.
betrayed my parents. I see that now.
Oh, Megan.
Mum, Dad,
You can run back to
I'm
Jimmy.
sorry. Our only hope,
Sorry about that, Sarah. Nothing. you
the
can say.
only hope,
At all, like at all. They said no one's died.
now
that's all I can
lies
say.
10
with
seconds.
Disrupt.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears. Ugh. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Novaries?
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of a happy life are now beset by me.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of safety.
Do not do that.
We built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby.
Seriously, why would you make me do this sort of work?
Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3.
No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club.
You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's grown.
We're our top priority.
I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one bawls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life.
We're having a baby. Mother's Day. We're having a baby. Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays down. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. No more smiles and no more. We're having a baby. 18 years on bills and leaves. Time for a whole new phase. We're having a baby. One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
Oh, pause, shit. Whatever.
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the capital theatre district, and will be touring the territories later this year. Right then, come on you lot, come on down, let's go, don't be shy. Hello. Hi Megan. Hi. It's an honour to be here. Oh really, are you fans of the show? Yeah, it used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in.
Song's so dramatic, yes.
Cool. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all...
It didn't need applause.
I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples, you know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, oh, well. Not exactly.
No. I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mimbley Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. Yeah. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing.
This piece isn't peaceful.
Stand by, Alex.
Oh.
Sense of the orange.
It's about children and why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem. Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
Wow, this
This isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives. And there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one, because you're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer.
Oh, well said, John.
Thanks, Janet.
Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
I always do poorly during these group interviews.
obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Yes. Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might want to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without
What's the discussion going on there?
incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know.
I got him reacting to him telling this story 1,000 times.
Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The no grief there. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Neil Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and
She reminds me of
an attack
Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter musical.
caught up in.
Star Kids.
Little days and a little deaf, Megan.
Lauren something? What's that actress's name?
It seems that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now, are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation.
Lauren Lopez, yes.
I'd like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news. Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Oh, of course, the camera, there's the camera. Speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there.
Break. I thought that went quite well.
Line of tonight's horror.
I think we need to get you to hospital, darling. Can you get this?
Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Nightly News. But before we go, tonight's National Nightly News.
Victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together. From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece. Channel 1. Time to wake up.
Oh, wait.
Shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and, well, it's pretty scary out there tonight, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over, and we can once again focus our minds on building a new future with equality, fairness and resources for all. My name is Megan. Let's make tomorrow better.
Damn it, Alex. Tonight is the beginning of the fall of advance. Fighter jet at 11 o'clock. Charges reached, sir. Mission to destinate. Permission granted, old friend. We are going to destinate.
Excuse me?
Look out of your window, Alex. See what you helped make happen. She's coming down.
You know, I worked here. Hello? Are you okay? A+ at the end, though. More info. Let's get some more info. Disrupt destroyed the Channel 1 broadcast tower. All offensive words were censored. An interference-free show. An exceedingly poor edit. Advance angered by content. Advance angered by content. Disrupt effectively silenced. Disrupt ruined the broadcast. My full wages, though. And my stock syrup. The Uprising pre-roll. Jeremy's escape.
Please, Sarah, anything.
Sorry, Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
Are we safe?
Hi, I'm Maddie. Jenny just said to ask if you need a touch-up.
Did she?
Yes, we saw this. It is very irritating that you can't just skip to the end. I'm just waiting for when she starts being spoken to. Or
Dancing!
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
I really wish I could fully mute these.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children...
Now what's this one?
Jesus, so what?
How's he doing?
How should I know?
What, you haven't heard from him?
He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So's my
Oh, there are multiple pre-rolls that we could have gotten here.
He's on the run, Colin.
Yeah, I'm
Continue. Was that saying that they did not originally have fast forward and rewind controls in the archive? You arrive at work a little early, despite a stressful journey in. You still aren't quite sure of everything that happened, though if the swarm of CCOs all over the building is anything to go by, this isn't just a Channel 1 matter. This is confirmed when you are informed you need to speak to Bozeman immediately and are escorted into his office. You sit nervously outside waiting for your boss. A few minutes later, the boss man arrives, disheveled and with a stern-looking CCO intern. Ah, yes, Winston, good. This is Specialist Ables. She will be observing this interview. Please come inside and take a seat. The ruddy-faced man bustles into his office and leaves the door open for you to follow. The few times you've been here before, it was immaculate, not with everything in its proper place, not so today. It must be serious for Bozeman to be this flustered. Bozeman? So Alex, do you know why you're here today? Bozeman's eyes are sharp and his gaze is fixed on your face from across the desk. Abels is standing behind you, out of sight but definitely not out of mind. Not really, no, I wasn't involved with anything that happened yesterday. What happened last night was nothing short of the culmination of a heinous and outrageous campaign of terror that have been reaping on this nation and its territories. Bozeman shoots a glance behind you to your left where your CCO observer is standing. And it is, of course, our duty to root out this rot, wherever we find it, to prevent anything like last night ever happening again. I have been asked by Advance to perform interviews with all staff members involved and will be submitting a personal review of your performance, both during the incident in question throughout your time here. This can only end well. He shoots you a quick smile. Don't worry, it'll all be fine. Arranging some papers, Bozeman clears his throat and begins. Obviously, a lot happened last night and I have a number of interviews to conduct today, so I'd rather none of them take any longer than necessary. Please be brief, concise, and clear in your answers. You nod. So let's start at the beginning of the broadcast and work our way through. After the attack at the memorial, you seem to have portrayed the terrorists in quite a sympathetic light. Why? I showed what was happening, the news, that's our job, right? Yes, of course, and with everything in flux, you weren't to know what would happen next. I'm certain you did the best you could, Alex, you always do. Bozeman scribbles some notes down, the noise of his pen scratching into the notepad, punctuated only by the constant tick-tock of his ornate clock. Hopefully this will all be over soon. Reviewing the broadcast, we noticed something a little odd about a particular camera choice. It was while everyone else was talking. Oh, where did I put it? Ah, yes, here. Here we are. Do you recognize this? With a flourish, Bozeman produces a leaflet from the notice board and places it on the desk in front of you. I assumed it was just part... I assumed it was just part of the set, why else would it have been there on camera? Well, that makes sense. You aren't responsible for maintaining the set. You can only assume that what's in there is meant to be, after all. You get the feeling that at least some of the above was for the benefit of the CCO in the room. Thank you, Alex, and again for Abel's benefit, you're so loyal. Not exactly so subtle there. There is one thing we noticed during the finale of the notice board. Bozeman picks up some notes on the other side of his desk. You seemed to play an odd choice of sound effects relatively early on. Now the script was expecting laughs, but for all three you chose to play boos. Why would you do that? I felt they were the most appropriate choices, sort of subjective after all. Well, of course, obviously we want all of our shows here at Channel 1 to be as successful as possible, and we allow our staff a significant degree of autonomy. I'm sure no one would try to fault you for simply having a different sense of humor. You can see Bozeman is frowning as he writes this, clearly not convinced by his own words. Maybe he likes you more than you thought. How many other people would he be interviewing today? Yes, we did side with Disrupt. Towards the end of the show, there appeared to be some issues with the sensor equipment. At this point, Bozeman pauses for a moment, putting a lid on his pen and placing it carefully on the desk, perpendicular to his notebook. How do you explain the fact that you censored perfectly acceptable language during the final segment? I just do what the display tells me. I don't decide what's supposed to be censored. I suppose it's certainly possible that the machine could have malfunctioned, much more likely than the malfunction of such a competent employee. We'll make sure to have maintenance look at it right away. With the price we paid, I expected it to last another 20 years, just like the last one, Bozeman chuckles. So how many questions will you have to answer? At this point, Bozeman took out a pair of glasses and placed them somewhat delicately on the end of his nose. Then the portly man leaned forward to examine his notes in detail. Now obviously we expect the odd bit of interference here and there unavoidable. However, he paused during turning the pages at an agonizing pace. Interference is not the same as terrorist propaganda. Would you care to explain how quite so much of their messaging found its way onto the airwaves? With everything else going on, I just didn't realize until it was too late. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice Specialist Abels is visibly more attentive, awaiting your boss's response. Well, it's certainly true that accidents happen. With the various stresses of last night's broadcast, I don't think anyone could begrudge you a slight drop in attention. Bozeman smiles warmly at you as Abels returns to their passive stance. You offered a strained smile back. A loud creak breaks the growing silence as Bozeman leans back in his chair. The tape of that poor Miss Brightman. Why did you play it? Help me understand. Why play that tape? As you meet his gaze, you're almost surprised to see an earnest concern in the old man's eyes. This is a little too much like Jeremy. I will say I was worried what Disrupt might do if I didn't play it. You watch as Bozeman slowly cleans his glasses before answering. Well, at the end of the day, you chose to do it, Alex. I don't know if I'd have done the same in your shoes, but I think it's clear enough you thought it was the right thing to do, and that's all we can ask of you. He clears his throat and leans forward again, a smile once again on his face. I believe that's all I had for you anyhow. Thank God it's over. I think that's all the information we need for now. Thank you. Could we have the room, please? This last is to the CCO, who grudgingly accepts and you hear the door close behind her. Look, Alex, I don't know how involved you were with last night, and frankly I don't want to know, but honestly it doesn't look good. I've done what I can because I like you, but I can't promise it will be enough. Best just go home for now. There's no work for you until we get a new satellite tower up anyway. As you leave, you see what you could almost swear is sympathy in the old man's eyes. Back to normal? Well, we appear to not be in prison, so that's good. And it's been another year. A banquet for some. It's your anniversary, and this year you've got a plan. A week away could be just what the doctor ordered for you and Sam, but it won't be cheap. It's more than you'd normally spend, but Sam is worth every penny. Maybe not the best. The last time you went away, it was an amazing weekend together, and this time it's going to be even better. And what a better way to start it off than going all out and cooking a nice meal from scratch. Fancy. Sam's going to love it. They should be here any minute. Even you and Chris seem to be on the same page for the first time in years. Maybe it's been long enough for them to forgive you, or perhaps they've decided they were unfair to ask you, but either way, you're grateful for their newfound peace. The newfound peace. They even helped you clean up the house today, so when Sam gets back from work, it will be pristine. You hear keys in the lock and put the final touches in place. As Sam steps into the hallway, you're waiting in the doorway to the kitchen, dressed to the nines and acting as nonchalant as possible. Alex, what's all this? Oh my god, did you clean? And what's that smell? They give you a quick kiss, and as they step past you into the kitchen, where the banquet is laid out, candles lit, with Chris and the children standing quietly grinning. Oh my god, Alex. Happy anniversary, Sam. Happy anniversary, comes the chorus from your three cheerleaders as Sam turns to you, smiling with tears in their eyes. Alex, it's perfect. Sam rushes over and kisses you softly, only breaking off when you get a less than subtle cough from Charlie. So I got officially accepted into the Community Cohesion Management Program, Charlie blurts out. And how do you feel about being grandparents, Susie continues. Can we have one night that is about me and your mother? Must we do this? Wait, what was that? Kidding, I'm just kidding, though it might be sooner than you think, Susie laughs, and Sam grabs the door frame for support. Alright, you two are coming with me before you give your parents a heart attack. We'll see you later, tomorrow, as in not tonight. With a wink, they finish ushering Charlie and Susie out of the house. That's funny. You pull out Sam's chair for them. Why, thank you, Sam says, taking a seat and grinning at you. Sounds like the kids are keeping busy. They shake their head as you take your own seat opposite them. Tomorrow. For now, you really didn't have to do all this, Alex. I know, I wanted to. I love you, Sam. I love you too, they breathe, admiring the panoply of food you prepared for them. Now, where on earth do I begin? They laugh as you pour the first glass of champagne of the evening. You're very lucky to have such a wonderful family. Who could ask for more? Another year? An unwelcome discovery. Well. Sam's call had been brief but urgent. Susie was in the hospital and had asked both of you to come. You'd left work immediately. Bozeman had grudgingly accepted that a family emergency was caused to leave on short notice, though you're sure he muttered something about you making up the hours. When you ask at the front desk, they direct you to Susie's room. You run up 2 flights of stairs and along the corridor until you find the right room. Another one, that's what, 5? The 2 nurses outside cut themselves off as you push past into the room. Sam is at your daughter's bedside speaking with the doctor. Susie is in a medical gown, both faces streaked with tears. What's wrong? What's happened? Oh. The doctor looks sympathetically towards you as you move to put your arms around the pair of them. Trigger warning for miscarriage. Susie should be fine after some time to rest. However, I'm afraid that we were unable to save the baby. Sam hugs Susie as your daughter breaks down to tears. Oh god. Pardon. I don't know why there's been such an uptick of spam. I know this is hard to hear right now, but it looks as it could be difficult, if not impossible, for you to conceive. Again, I'm terribly sorry, and if you have any questions at all, I'll just be outside. The 3 of you are left alone in the room, hugging tight as if that could somehow fix this. Your poor little girl, you wish there was something you could do. Anything, but there isn't. For now, all you can do is hold her close and protect your daughter as best you can. We're really moving through this at a rapid clip. A job down? Everything's ready. You and Sam have been trying to watch Bullet Man for years, but you missed it in the cinemas and it never seemed to be in stock when one of you went to pick up the VHS. Now you're just waiting for them to get home so you can start. You hear the front door open as you put a bowl of popcorn on the coffee table. We're all ready to go. Get your butt in here. Sam comes in with a vacant stare, ignoring both Phil and Snacks as they sit down next to you. You have to actually nudge them to break their stupor. Sam, what is it? I've just been let go from work. Sam is just staring into space. Apparently there just isn't need for 2 nursery teachers anymore, not enough children, so they can't justify the expense. Honey, I'm so sorry. It'll be okay, you'll find another place. No, you don't get it. There just isn't that demand for younger years teachers anymore. Not just here, anywhere. I know what I'm going to do, what we're going to do. You pull Sam into a hug. I know things are tough, but we'll think of something. How, Alex? We're barely scraping by as it is, and now Sam starts to sob. We're going to have to sell the house. I can't see any other option. We've got too many debts to pay. If that's what we have to do, it's fine. It's only the 2 of us living here now anyway. I suppose you're right. Still, I hate the idea of losing this place. Think of everything that's happened here, Alex. They fall silent thinking. Eventually you start the film, but neither of your hearts are in it, too busy thinking about the future. Still, a house isn't everything. It's the people who make it a home. Home is where the heart is, after all. 3 years since the uprising.
Hello, Alex. I've checked the schedule for tonight. Nothing major to report.
My calendar.
You can't handle. Still, at least my daughter's in for Advance's new initiative. That should liven things up a bit here. Keep up the good work.
Their unexpectedly large family. At 9:15, it's What Music is Best, a rundown of the top
Lord.
across the territories. Expect catchy tunes and scenes of an inappropriately sexual nature, not one to miss. At 10 p.m, it's time for Julia's Diary, where the ever-popular Prime Minister reads extracts from her diary in front of a warm fire. Then,
How did this happen?
it's the latest episode of our drama series, Betterment, which tells the inspirational story of Emily Dennisworth and the brave doctors and technicians struggling.
And this is Jenny. She's the floor manager.
Hi, Stacey.
That's Colin. He, too much. Don't talk to Colin.
Not getting involved in bringing your daughter to work, eh, Colin?
Nah, we don't believe in it.
All right, come and sit next to...
This is just a talk show now, it seems.
How did it all go so right? That's followed by the territory.
Atta girl.
Advanced briefing.
10 seconds, everybody. For all of it.
Monday's a myth.
That explains so much. Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening and welcome to the NNN. I'm Meg.
I like the visual storytelling here of like the upgrade system.
Daughter to work day here at...
A little advance here.
I'm joined tonight by my foster daughter, Stacey. Say hello, Stacey.
Go fuck yourself.
All right then. Here are the stories that matter to you. First up, with Advance confirming that the nuclear fallout from the 20-week war is to blame for the drop in birth rates across the territories, we asked you what keeps you going. I know that I, for one, was quite deflated when I heard about this, but reading all your submissions has really put the smile back on my face. This is from Sonia in Larkfordshire. I've had plenty of time to fill, so I've started a new hobby. Since I started knitting, I barely remember that 85% of the country is sterile. My record is this scarf. It's 124 metres long. Thank you for that. And if you've started a new hobby, do write in and tell us about it. Next up, you know how we love your uncanny comestible coincidences, and I don't know about you, but I think this one really takes the biscuit. I'm not sure what I'm more impressed by, Stacey. The things our viewers spot, or the unbelievable way our menu centres are now able to feed every team member every single day. Catherine from Berkeldown sent us this, saying, I couldn't help but spot the face of poor departed Peter Clement in my 4th lager this morning. Oh, I'm not sure if I see it, Catherine, but then again, I'm only on my 3rd.
Stacey is a mood, yes.
Do keep those coming in. Come on, give me another go. We've just got time for one more of your stories, and this one is an inspiring story of rehabilitation. That's it, just tell us who it's from, yeah, and then read it out, okay?
So this one says it's from John in Stokely. Before I was convicted, I'd never read a single book, but since I was released from Betterment, I haven't been able to stop. I'm even working at a library, and on our lunch breaks, Mr. Wordyworth spell checks my tattoos.
We absolutely love hearing the way our neighbours and team members have been able to become better people, so do let us know your stories here. You can do this bit, Stacey.
No, you're all right, thanks.
Come on, give it a try.
Let us know your stories here at the NNN.
NNN. Oh, Lord.
Right, bit of a change of pace coming up here. You'll need to use the SFX buttons for the next segment, but Advance have already selected when and what to use. Simple stuff. Just follow your government orders.
I mean...
First up tonight on the NNN, it's time to celebrate this week's team lottery winners live from the Shakespeare Theatre right here in the capital. We're going to hand over to Julia Salisbury. I suppose you don't think much of her either, eh, Stacey?
She's got a lot more going for her than you wankers.
Okay, surprising vote of approval there from Stacey. Let's go live to that right now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to
And who would have thought the Snuggle Hug universe was the better reality? Yes.
the many duties I have as team leader. This is by far the most pleasant. As I so often say to you, the uneven past is now, following the demise of Disrupt, firmly behind us. This is the new future. And I say to you, it's better now. I am delighted to be joined here tonight by one of the oldest people in Territory 1. He was born over 107 years ago.
I have to guess this is our epilogue, essentially.
To Alfie Touchbadger. So, Alfie, you must have seen so much in your lifetime. What have been some of the highlights? Alfie? Is he all right?
His hearing aid isn't turned on.
Oh, could you turn it on?
He says it drains the battery.
Well, will you tell him that we'll buy him a brand new battery after the presentation?
Yeah, he says that's fine then. And I will help him with that, yeah.
If you would. Sorry, can't get the staff.
Yeah. We got it.
So, Alfie.
What?
You're 107 years old.
Oh, don't bloody remind me.
Would you like to tell the audience what that's like?
Oh, where is everybody?
Out there, in the dark. Oh, bless him, it's not just the ears.
Who are you? 2 sugars, please.
I'm Julia Salisbury, the Prime Minister.
I like this story. Who are you really?
No, I really am the Prime Minister.
Oh, you're
a woman?
Yeah, a woman. One of
Women
them.
can do anything men can do these days, Alfie.
Oh, can you piss standing up?
I can't say I've ever tried.
No, I didn't think so. 2 sugars, please, and not too much milk.
Shall we get to the awards, Alfie?
Oh, are you going to ask me about my life?
Well, I'm not sure we have enough time left now for that, so...
When I was 9, I wanted a pet, so I asked me mum and pap. There was no television then, back then, you know. We made our own entertainment out of coal and roadkill.
Well, that's fascinating.
So they got me a pet, see? But it weren't a dog. They told me it were a dog, but it were a stone.
A stone?
Yes. So I called it Patch, which was a popular name for a dog back then.
As was the style of the time.
Having a patchy face. And I decided to introduce him to pretty little Gertie Thimble, who lived up the road.
Oh, how romantic.
She threw my dog in the river. That was the day I decided I'd never marry.
And that's the secret to your long life?
Oh no, I've been married 7 times, divorced 8. There was a mix-up
Wait.
in number 3, see? Yes, I'm just lucky. Are we going back to the home soon?
Soon, Alfie. First, let's turn to the reason we're all here, the weekly Territory 1 Team Awards. First up tonight is a lady who really knows how to put in the extra hours.
Oh, this camera is watching me.
Centre in Hamble Bamblebury, and she has single-handedly allowed more families to unburden each other than any other nurse in Territory 1. In the uneven past, she'd have been locked up. Tonight, she is being honoured as a team player. Please welcome Daphne Snister.
Are you here to change me?
Just give her a medal, Alfie. There's a good boy.
Doctor, I mean, 2 sugars, And don't let it steep too long.
I think you're supposed to give me one of those.
Well,
There he goes, look!
I can't get the arms up any higher than that. You'll have to go down, love.
Thank God those fractious times are behind us. And now the
She's laughing her ass off.
Are we in? As the actress said to the bishop.
Yes, thank you. I've got it from here.
Well done. Daphne Snifter, everybody. Now, open your envelope and find out what you've won. Crikey, don't hold back there. She's tougher than one of Peter's homemade Eccles cakes.
Got it. I've won a holiday for two in Territory 15. Used to be called San Palmerino, didn't it?
I believe it did, yes.
Why couldn't we have stuck with that then? It's easier to remember.
We're all one nation now.
Hang on a minute. Isn't it still on fire?
Daphne Snister, everyone.
Oh, what about my change? I've been in these white trucks for 3 days now.
We'll get to that, Alfie.
Oh, right you are, love.
Next up tonight is a couple from Farnley who, after a rocky start losing their family's ill-gotten gains to the Assets and Wealth Act, have really embraced the new future, setting up a community farm and petting zoo in their local area for all the local children to play. Please.
Really good environmental storytelling on camera 3, yes. These were all shot in one take too. Like, continuous takes.
Trenches. I had a pal called Scotty Wilson. He was from way up north, so I didn't understand a bloody word he said. But he were me best mate.
Should we just grab them for ourselves?
Probably for the best.
And his best mate was Smudger Ace. There was them two. Fiddly Eric, Unstable Terry, and of course, Leggy Sydney. She were a girl. But she had a boy's name, so they shipped her to the front anyway. First girl any of us had ever seen close up. She's dead now. They all are. Smudger and Scotty never made it home. Fiddly got shanked in Frankfurt prison in an argument over an olive. And Terry, he exploded quietly at home. Sydney got a fatal skin condition. Scratched herself to death. It makes you think.
Thanks, Alfie. Great contribution. So, Otho and Lobelia, a petting zoo.
After we lost all our wealth, we discovered there were actually people who had never even owned a pony.
I used to have 3.
So we decided to do something about it. That's the type of people we are, you see. Advantage of a private education, probably.
Well, I'm sure we could debate that all night, but there's no time. So, let's see what you've won.
Yes, before we do, there's something I wanted to say to you.
Oh, absolutely. Every citizen of the new future has my ear.
When advance came to power, you took all of our wealth. You took the shirts off of our backs.
Quite literally, in my case, I used to collect shirts.
Well, you might as well have the rest of it, too.
Oh, security!
Oh, Lord.
God, not again. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Pennies and the news are not good bedfellows. Keep those flappy bits off my channel, Alex.
Much better. And you are? Oh, no.
Got to go! It isn't right and it isn't fair!
You tell him, girl. That's my wife, you know. Only you don't.
You can't mix pearls with swine, it isn't right! We used to have 3 horses, fed and defettled and hung well. And now what have we got? 2 mangy goats, 1 mongrel dog called Kenneth, and a rooster that won't bloody shut up!
Can we get this over quickly with, please?
As the actress said to the bishop. Oh, here we go again. Hello, Alfie Tadge-Badger. Pleased to meet you.
Ooh.
Stop them!
Oh, don't worry, love. I'll protect you. Oh, 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 oh.
You better break know what he knows.
You know, this reminds me of when I was in my 20s. and we go to the promenade at Shining on Sea and watch all the pretty girls on the beach. Everything was black and white then, of course. We'd visit the Penny Arcade and try to win a block of lard
Ooh.
to take home for the family. You couldn't buy lard in those days. You had to win it. Oh, it was so simple back then. Boys were boys, girls were girls. Everyone else was recruited by the circuses. There were loads of them, you see, circuses, with their big tents and their candy floss. You'd hear the music, the pipe organ, drifting over the nearby fields. My mum used to call it the most magical sound in the world. This was before she lost her hearing after giving a particularly loud round of applause. Did you ever go to the circus?
What's that, Alfie?
The circus. Oh, never mind. Yeah, just a tea, pet.
Well, that was an unexpected dose of naked nostalgia. Some people simply can't let go of the past. That's why I look in joy and fervent admiration at the younger generation. So cohesive, such a team. And with fertility...
Wonder how many different endings and epilogues there are. Me as well.
Our fabulous new generation now more than ever. Our final winner tonight is a go-getter who really went and got him, helping to root out more than 170 disrupt collaborators in his own...
Please don't be my son. Please don't be my son. Please don't be my son.
He's gone on to be a senior cohesion cadet leader and organised all of the entertainment at last year's camp cooperation. Our final winner tonight...
Please don't be my son. Thank God.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at this.
In a transition centre, you old non...
Wow.
It's an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. We're very similar, in my opinion.
Well, I've never been much of a role model.
Nonsense, Prime Minister. You have saved this country. You have fought enemies foreign and domestic with an iron fist. As with my own tiny fists have I.
Well, let's open the envelope and find out what you've won. Maybe it'll be a fist enlargement.
A year's internship as a behaviour coach at Betterment. Let's show the fools where they went wrong, eh?
Well, actually, Betterment is about rehabilitation, Edwin.
Absolutely. And if they don't reintegrate, we retaliate. Just like you did on Liberation Night. Thank you for this award. And stay vigilant. Report the non-cohesives. Be a team player.
That concludes tonight's awards. Join me next week when, hopefully, things will be a lot more normal.
Is that the first segment?
Prime Minister Salisbury there.
Oh. Great.
Team awards ceremony. Any thoughts on this week's winners, Stacey?
The nurse was fucking scary, the pretties were saggy, and that little prick will never lose his virginity.
Okay, well, succinctly put there, if a little profane. After the break, we'll be going live to a star-studded premiere. You won't believe who's on the red carpet tonight. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after this. And we're out!
Oh, Alex, one other... What's that? You're off already? I know you had to take the day off work for Junior, but... Oh, I see. No luck still with Theodore.
Mother?
I'm so sorry, darling.
Oh,
Of course.
2 sugars, please.
I'll speak to you later.
Winston can go fuck themselves.
Oh, Alex, completely forgot what I was going to say. Blast it all. You're lucky your Susie is outside the catchment area and exempt for today.
Catchment area?
Do you reckon he's watching us somewhere? Laughing. Jeremy, are you watching us? Are you receiving us?
Are you fucking with us?
Oh, right. So she can swear.
Oh, C is not bad.
How well do you know the people?
He's a mini Ben Shapiro, yes.
So much better.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that
You gotta go to better men. So much better. So much better.
happen and then some water cue to glue it all together.
They do know I have a Queen's View degree in journalism.
Bet you wish you'd studied something useful now, eh?
All this bring your daughter to work day. What a joke.
Where is our honoured guest?
I don't know, she's probably sniffing around that boy band hot spot.
Heat rash.
Oh, good. We still have musical segments.
Heat rash. Oh God, they're running out of names, aren't they?
I hear the computer comes up with them, the songs too. Ah, there she is.
Sorry, I'm applying,
That's 10 seconds, everybody.
What have you been up to?
What's it to you?
basically topical pain gel for our neck and shoulder.
3.
Welcome back. Stacey's still here.
Wishing she wasn't.
And in this segment, we're delighted to have sent Robin and Patrick to the movies. Yes, tonight is the world premiere of The Automated, starring Lawrence Blunderclatch and the late great
Lawrence Blunderclatch.
And all the stars are out tonight. We first covered this film almost 5 years ago, back when it was called The Medicated. Then, for mysterious reasons, the film was suddenly pulled the night before its release. Well, since then, executive producer George Focus has spent 5 long years polishing the film and turning it into a special edition premiering tonight. With extensive state-of-the-art visual effects and a top-quality voice team, George says it's the movie he always wanted to make. Now, let's take a look at it.
I can't deconstruct it.
Loved him in BBC Sherlock.
Robots!
Vanderclatch.
Is this a wig?
You think I don't grow that?
No, Dick, I'll kill you. Think of Saturn.
There's something on your face, Chief Harrison! I wish you were real, baby. Flesh and blood.
Captain Quasar.
But you're just ones and zeros, baby. If only I'd noticed.
Captain Quasar.
You rusted, but I didn't notice.
Captain.
I'm buffering, Dick, you said.
Got one on you.
God damn it, blast it off!
Here's a map.
What's a map?
Okay, so head north on Interstellar Avenue, left at the asteroid belt, and a tricky 3-point turn at Uranus. What are these symbols? This corner. This is the key.
We could shut it down.
Yes, we could shut it down.
But we have to ask ourselves, who are we?
Gosh, thrilling stuff. What did you think, Stacey?
The robots were all right, I guess.
They certainly were. Let's go over to Robin Short now in Western Square, who I believe has got the star of the show. Robin.
Right, you, shall we?
Yes, we are live from Western Square with a man who needs no introduction, Lawrence Blunderclatch. How has your evening been so far?
Magical. Absolutely magical. My most dear friends all gathered here to celebrate my work. One really couldn't ask for much more.
Well, on that
Sorry, Isaac, having trouble focusing.
around the corner, are you hoping to add to your collection for a
George Algebra, now George Lucas. It was actually a different George. It was George Focus, which I think is supposed to be an unsettled George Lucas parody.
It's really not for me to say. But let's just say that I know of 3 little gold men who are getting rather lonely.
Absolutely.
Because I've won 3 little awards.
And each more deserved than the last. Well, it's safe to say that your career has gone supersonic in the last couple of years. How's that been?
Well, as I was saying to Stephen only yesterday, that's Stephen Spellman. The Stephen Spellman. Lovely chap. I mean, unbelievable mind. I said, Stephen, you know, this really has been quite the ride. Did you know what he said? He agreed with me.
Wow. And what do you attribute your success to?
Well, if we're talking actual numbers, I'd have to say 60% talent, 30% looks, and 10% passion, brackets general. Not to mention the incredible coverage on election night. That really was the start of it all. That and my own range of sick bags. Lawrence's chunder catch.
Wow.
Finally.
Forget. Well, it's been a delight talking to you.
Oh, I think that's what's her face.
so much. Well, Patrick Bannon should be with Lil C for a conversation that doesn't involve vomit.
Thank you, Robin. Let's hope not. I'm actually joined here by
Billy Bob Jean Short. And surely you recognize my youngest, pop sensation, Lil D.
She's Lil D now?
Covers album drops next week.
Actually, we weren't expecting Lil C. Is she?
She's around. She's not been feeling very well. She's put me in charge.
Has she?
Well, the courts have. They gave me stewardship over her estate.
Oh, wow.
Finances and her internal soul. Praise Craglar!
Praise Craglar.
Wow. But is she coming just because we've got some questions for her?
Well, she might be along later, but as her legal and spiritual guardian, I'll be happy to answer all and any questions on her behalf.
And Lil D, was it? Well, you look...
Is Spellman a Spielberg parody? Almost certainly.
You know what? I feel great.
Well, who are you wearing?
I'm wearing Little C, and you could be too.
Really?
Little C's new line launches tonight. This is one of my favourite looks. It's called... Ah!
Oh, what a unique name!
Hard to spell, though.
But of course...
New York's hottest club is...
Now, with a veritable clothing empire to her name.
Yeah, well, the label's gone from strength to strength since our initial TV launch on this very show, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So really, we have all you to thank for all this. You know, this hat cost more than my second jet. Feel that? Feel that?
Yes, it's a nice hat.
Person.
And Frames magazine.
I'm really trying. There we
The
are.
youngest self-made success story ever.
And do you have any advice for anyone wanting to follow in your footsteps?
Absolutely. All you need to succeed on your own is your family's financial backing and pre-existing fame. It's not rocket science, people.
I feel like
Well, but in sadder news, am I right that Lil C is going to be retiring?
maybe Advance didn't succeed because we didn't fully support them soon enough.
Sure you can imagine. At 25, she's far too old for pop music now. She can't keep up with these young stars. So her best of album is out now, and she's touring that later this year. And then her farewell tour the year after that. And that's her last chance to see her. So until the reunion tour and then the classic tour after that. But it's been a long and varied career, as you can imagine. She's very, very proud of herself.
Oh, and if her health's bad, then maybe it's for the best.
What's wrong with her health? Oh, yes, her health. Her poor health. And it's surprisingly expensive treatments. Curse you, Zaytan! Damn your intergalactic justice!
Oh, yeah.
There, finally.
Better be letting you get back. Those babies aren't going to sell themselves, or possibly at all. Billy Bob, Lil C, D, thank you so much for joining me, and do pass our best wishes to Lil C.
Who? Oh.
Now, it looks like Robin is with a music legend who actually is irreplaceable. Is that who I think it is, Robin?
It
Said
absolutely
Jesus.
Jesus, I almost can't believe you're here. How have you been?
You know, I like to
Oh, Lord.
for people's every now and then. It makes them feel close to me.
Right, yes.
And to be close is to be human. And to be human.
I'm surprised he's still got a job, considering how anti-government he was.
Hey, Rachel, write that one down.
It's good to see you've done so well for yourself.
Thank you, my child. You know, I have you to thank for that. If it was never for your show supporting me and my music, I never would have transcended.
Now, there are rumours going around that you might be running for office. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, yeah.
But you're aware that elections have been suspended in the territories?
What a shock.
No, I'm not running to be no prime minister.
Oh, you're not?
No. I'm gonna be king of the moon.
Alright, maybe not a threat, though.
King of the moon?
Yes.
No, sorry. You're running for king of the moon?
No, not running. It's my birthright.
And does this have anything to do with promoting your upcoming hip opera, Jason Space?
Hush now. Cynicism is so unmoving.
Okay. And how long will this last? Will it go the way of last year's Living as a Mouse fiasco? Or maybe your foray into ventriloquist beats?
Ventriloquist beats.
I merely live by them.
Huh. So, are you looking forward to seeing the automated?
You know, I don't believe in film. Thou shalt keep thine image still unholy. That's track 4, Jesus Christ made us though.
Okay, thank you for your time and good luck with your new life in space.
And with you, my child.
Well, Megan, that's what success looks like. I'm going to see if we can grab someone else to have a chat. Back to you.
Thanks, Robin. But I think Stacey and I are probably in quite enough trouble where we are. So, 3 big names there, Stacey.
Yeah, big names.
Quite enough trouble.
Maybe from your generation's perspective?
You won't like my opinions.
Oh, go on, try me.
Well, Bumbanonk is so old he's like 1 week away from a transition centre, so who cares? And Lil C was cool when I was like 12 or something, but now she's just another fucking loony. And Jesus is a disrupt-loving wanker who should have died with the rest of them 3 years ago.
You're right.
You agree with me?
No, you're right, I don't like your opinions. But thankfully, we can go back to Patrick now, who has another familiar face to catch up with. Oh, Patrick!
It's
What were they worried about?
buzzing here, Megan. The anticipation is killing us. But a little birdie's told us that any moment now we should get a glimpse of someone incredibly popular with our viewers. A favourite destination for many of the fans. Yes, the Mayor of Bumley will be arriving literally any second now.
We should watch the rushes.
Yet, but as you can tell, the atmosphere here really is something else. Patrick Bannon, NNN. What's it been like since Bumley got
I find it very interesting that they just
The tourism exploded thanks
took Patrick's name, or were assigned Patrick's name.
more Bumleyan jobs, it's brought more Bumleyan homes. We're all very grateful. Of course, it's not all bums and roses. It's almost impossible to get a good look at the whole these days. The crowds are unbelievable. Who can blame them? It's a bloody marvellous whole.
And how have you found public service?
Well, to be frank with you, it's been the greatest honour of my life to serve the town that I love so dearly. From the
I must say, if this is the last day, the day this game has a very long tail.
car park outside the...
Very long denouement.
It's been a privilege, a pleasure, a gift, and I can't thank the mayor enough for all he's done.
Let's talk to the mayor now. Excuse me, sir. Can you tell us a bit of what it's like to be
Okay, it's worth
in
it.
such a prestigious office? And do you have any words for your legions of fans out there? Stoic, but blistering honesty from the Right Honourable Peanut T. Fortescue there. And his PA.
A proclamation! Quickly, fetch a policy bag.
First.
Yes, sir. We'll get it ratified at once.
Well, there you have it, Megan. What an honour to literally see local...
Patrick looks so good after the transition, yes.
Back to you at the studio.
It's a very fast transition.
What a colourful interview there on what looks like an amazing night. They certainly know how to make an entrance.
Bumley's.
And the automated really...
I got an achievement for that one.
Unstoppable written all over it, because despite Boris Hawley in Hours magazine calling it Lawrence Blunderclatch's overly long suicide note, in a review which ends with the words, and he hasn't even had the decency to see it through, the film, which is free to all residents of the territories, has seen record pre-bookings and looks set to run for months and months. But let's go back to those lucky few seeing it tonight. Oh, I'm so jealous. Robin, you see...
Oh.
Well, I thought I
I saw some leprechauns in the green room, but I think it might have been someone's kids. But I know, they just keep coming. And here are some more famous faces, or famous brains, I suppose. It's Dr. David Wong and Dr. Ing is also here. We have
Smorgasbord.
on our show over the last few years. What's it like to be back on dry land?
It's so wonderful. I'm still not used to it. Every time I see the sun, I want to just scream out in joy. I'm grateful every day to your viewers for their support. Without them, well, we wouldn't be here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine.
And am I right in thinking that you two have a lovely little boy together?
Dante's 3 now, and he's gorgeous.
Oh, what a beautiful family.
Not since she left me.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to,
It's fine.
Oh, it's fine, is it?
Well, what happened?
Well, you know, the normal story. Sometimes things aren't as easy as they were when all you had was a cave.
No sooner was she able to see me in daylight than she was zooming off with a moron.
Oh, she's not a moron. She's a doctor.
A dermatologist is not a doctor.
So sorry about this.
I'm sure she's got lovely skin.
The queer rep in this game is interesting.
If you carry on eating those pies, you might have to.
It's nice that it's very normal.
Here we go again. Very good. We can't all have paws as clean as hers, can we?
At least she doesn't have a PhD in biomechanics.
You take that back.
Well, thanks to you both for pushing the boundaries of human knowledge.
Arsehole.
Crikey! Well, the movie's about to start, so Patrick and I are about to share a box of overpriced popcorn. Back to you, Megan.
Thanks, Robin. Lucky you, and enjoy the movie. The Automated opens in cinemas across the territories this weekend. What a star-studded event, hey, Stacey?
Who cares? No one goes to the cinema these days.
Of course. We'll be back after these messages.
And they should not go to the cinemas these days.
You should get yourself a video recorder, like the one at the home.
Yeah, I've got a video recorder. It's just not the same, is it?
You're right, it's better. No unevens chatting and chewing all the way through.
What about a kiss and cuddle on the back row? Doesn't that happen anymore?
In public? What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong with me. Feeling better?
This is dragging, yes.
All right, you are. Got to get set up for heat rash. I think Ronnie's on something.
I know he is. It was on his rider. Apparently it's medicinal.
Ronnie's always high. Give him orange juice.
God, she speaks.
He's a stupid cunt.
And just like that, you wish she wouldn't.
An original composition of cooperation and
Whatever happened to Crazy Neil?
song of solidarity for a steadfast society.
We seem to be a bit
No
bunched up.
previous
at the
songwriter
moment.
experience is required.
It's what now?
It's
Oh, here's Megan. She's going to be interviewing you.
Hello. Hi.
This is her. This is Stacey.
Well, hello there, Stacey.
Fuck off, Ronnie.
Right. No, I'm sorry, but if we can't be polite, you're going to have to wait in the dressing room.
Whatever.
Do you want to go and wait in the dressing room?
Space opera.
And fine. So why not
No, what?
put on your
No. Thank you.
Okay. And sit up straight. You're ruining my shot.
That's 10 seconds, everybody.
no co.
Fucking right, Noko.
What's that? What's no?
Bring in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. For our final segment tonight, Stacey and I are delighted to be joined by Heat Rash. Their new album, Girls and Why We Love Them All, comes out this weekend. So, let me see if I can get this right. It's Nolan,
I write the songs.
Ronnie.
That's what it says on my tattoo.
Oh, you've got a tattoo of your name on yourself. Okay.
In case he forgets it.
This raconteur, you must be Chinny.
Stop.
Why do they call you Chinny?
It's because of this ugly old thing.
I don't know what you mean.
God, you're so fucking embarrassing.
And Dale. Crikey, Dale, you do not look old enough to be in a band.
I get that a lot. I'm actually 23, the oldest one. I have a growth disorder.
God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
It's so pretty.
He's only messing with you.
He's actually 58.
Okay, right, I see. You're going to be a handful, aren't you, boys?
Mum, gross.
And you must be TP. What does TP stand for?
Tiny prick.
It stands for team player.
I see. How long have you had that nickname?
Ever since Nolan decided Terry Pronos was a shit name for a member of a boy band.
No co, Ronnie.
Yeah, no co, Ronnie.
Sorry, what does no-co mean?
It's the opposite of SoCo.
Ah.
Fuck's sake. SoCo.
Yeah.
So cohesive. You pretees say cool.
Right, okay, thank you.
Pretees?
Sorry about her.
Not your fault. She's uneven.
So you guys met through a popular show on one of our rival channels, didn't you?
Yeah, team players with a Z.
So how did that work then?
Well, actually, Dell and I knew each other from school. We were actually classmates. And
Fuck's sake, Nolan, mate. Give someone else a chance. We all went on team players. We all auditioned. The judges put us into bands. And, yeah, we went to their houses and they just put us into bands.
It's an example of how we're greater than the sum of our parts when we work in harmony.
And occasionally singing it.
So every week on the show, they get these bands and they give them a song that the producer just found from under the bin somewhere.
Miss Jeremy, yeah.
Write the songs.
And the public would phone in and decide which song they like best.
Right, and then the losers would be eliminated. Yeah?
Mum.
What?
No-co. Pretty. So no-co.
The band who get the most approval get to play their song again.
Sure. So what happens to the losers then?
Mum.
What do I keep doing wrong?
We don't use the L word anymore.
What, you mean losers?
Would you please stop saying that?
That word is a pejorative. It's a word designed to diminish. At Go-Getters, I learned very early that we only win when everybody wins.
But, sorry, that's not real life, is it? That's just sports board, no?
Thought you were SoCo.
Yeah, I am SoCo.
Nah, you're a shrinker. Can't be friends with shrinkers.
She doesn't know what you're talking about. She doesn't understand.
So I do understand, actually, Stacey.
What's a shrinker?
Well, a shrinker.
What's
is...
a pretty, Mum?
Well, I think it means someone who's older, doesn't it?
Pre-territories.
It's someone who turned 18 before the new future. We call you preties.
Unevens.
Mimis.
Nonks.
It's not her fault she's old. She can't help it.
I'm not that old.
I'm trying to help you here.
Well, I don't think I need your help.
See? Total Mimi.
Is that so?
Yes, obviously.
You know what the real problem with you lot is? You just can't get over the fact that your beloved Disrupt are gone and you just don't fit in anymore. But the truth is, Disrupt were violent, no-co pricks being led by a fucking psycho. I'm glad they lost, and you should be too.
Listen, not everyone over 30 supported Disrupt, Stacey.
Not everyone, no, but one fuck-off lot of you did.
SoCo, Stacey. SoCo.
We've all learned maybe a little bit more than we expected to there. I'm genuinely delighted to have met Heat Rash. And before we end the show tonight, I think you're going to sing for us, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. We're going to sing a song from Girls and Why We Love Them All called Pieces of My Heart, which is about a real relationship I had with an actual girl.
Oh, Nolan, give it a rest, mate. No one cares. Go on, let's get on these stools, lads.
Right.
Total Mimi, yeah.
So, Stacey, can I get your contact?
Oh, she's 15. Go on, piss off and sing your song, Terry. Christ.
Right you are.
So, here they are with their latest single, Pieces of My Heart. Are you excited, Stacey?
Not for me, no. I only listen to blip music and a bit of jizzcore. Pop music is...
Oh yes, I know I meant to mention this earlier. Apparently these newfangled boy bands change singer all the bloody time. Try and follow along, eh?
Okay.
Whoever is currently singing the lead vocal.
I saw you standing by the Santa with a brand new pair of Blackers, baby, do you remember? You took the first of the pieces of my heart.
You wandered into a bush and grabbed a vodka and stank. Took our assets and our wealth and drew them out of the bag.
I gave you little pieces of my heart. I didn't know two hearts could ever feel like this, girl. It's like you were custom made for me by Remington's fist. I take all of the loves that didn't last and leave them in the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. You snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say, you blow me away. I just want you to stay. I don't want you to pay. You make me crazier than Neil today.
Just caught that. Crazier than Neil.
I was sitting beside you.
We sat there shaking all the way through incisors.
We held each other as things fell apart.
We took a train through all the territories and we threw
Yeah, the lyrics are certainly something.
stories. You took a dozen pieces of my heart. I didn't know that life could ever feel like this, girl. It's like you were custom made for me by Remington's fist. I take all of the loves that didn't last. I leave them there, the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. Snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times you have cried. As my old man used to say, blow me away. I just want you to stay. I just want you to play. You make me crazier than Neil. Make me crazier than Neil today.
Yeah, the Terrible Hair is a really good singer. Which Terrible Hair? Are we talking about Alan Resnick on camera 1? Or... I have no joke for camera 3, unfortunately. His hair is the joke.
and leave them in the uneven part. Share the new future as my bride. You snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say,
I think this song is one of my favorites, to be honest.
you to stay. I just want you to play. You make me crazier than Neil. Crazier than Neil. Crazier than Neil today.
Wow. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Yukash. That was actually really good. Best of luck. Thank you for coming in. Now it's almost time for final thoughts tonight. And I've actually asked Stacey to write a few, and they're just being programmed onto the auto.
So I missed any good? You missed the best parts, to be honest.
She's going to say. So, fingers on that bleep button in the broadcast room, just in case. Take it away, Stacey.
My name is Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you know that by now. Don't know why I put that in there. Anyway. I don't watch the news. There's no need. You hear all the important stuff from your mates, so I don't know what's considered important anymore. But I'm pretty sure that it's not rehashed movies and fucking boy bands, so... Anyway. I'm going to talk about what's important to me. When Advance were first elected 6 years ago, I was 9 and in a home. Not a family home like you call a home. This was a state children's home. It was fucking awful, actually. It was like a Charles Dickens book. The roof.
It didn't make me censor fuck.
Mornings, the food was bad. Drugs and alcohol were everywhere. No one cared. You had to watch your back all the time because there weren't enough staff to manage us. And yes, as you'd imagine, there was a lot of... Some bad stuff went down there with some of the staff, okay? Not all of them, but the others knew, and they didn't stop it. And then Advance won the election. And like a miracle, things started to change. They got better. We had nicer food. The home was not just repaired, but redecorated and kitted out with books and sports stuff and musical instruments and video games. Most of the staff were fired, and the new ones, which there were more of, spent time talking and working with the bullies. And you know what? A second miracle. It worked. The bullying stopped. My life, got better. Because finally, there was enough money to do the good things, and Advance had the guts to do it. I joined Go-Getters, and on Liberation Night, that gave me a group of friends that I could talk with when the bombs went off and the power went out. Another miracle. I wasn't alone anymore. And that was the night I finally understood the importance of being in a team. So here's my final thought. I know the people who were doing better under the old system long to go back. You say, we were freer, but what you mean is, we were richer. But for every one of you, there is 100 of me. And even now, after all you've had taken away, you are still doing better than I am, than I likely ever will. You still have homes of your own and families of your own who love you. And I'll never have that. So maybe you should stop looking for the worst interpretation of everything this amazing government does and realise it's not for you. It's for the millions like me. And you can cry and bleat all you want, but you're never going to get your money back because it's already been spent on miracles.
Wow, thank you, Stacey. Wow, thank you, Stacey.
Stand by.
Let's keep making tomorrow better.
And we're out.
Interesting.
Yes, that was more than all right.
Nicely done. I think you might have actually given them something to think about.
So I guess you're going to be taking me back to the home now then?
I was thinking we could go out somewhere and, I don't know, have a meal, talk about our options, if that's okay.
Of course, Miss Wolf. Security will be standing by.
Thank you.
So they're always there then?
There was a thing a few years ago now.
Oh, with that Jeremy bloke? I heard about that, everyone did. Were you here back then? Doesn't look old enough.
She's growing on me.
Yeah, she does that.
All right. I've received my full wages. My current wealth is technically not negative still. My stocks are all neutral because I didn't get any options. Sort of hoping there's not much more of this game left. I have to imagine that's near the end. Maybe we'll get some more text and then that'll be it. And uppance come. You once again find yourself sitting inside Bozeman's office. Everything is pristine and orderly, just how the fastidious man likes it, though it's rare for him to be late. The door opens behind you just as you start to imagine reasons why. Ah, Alex, thank you for waiting. It's been almost 6 years since you started working with us, Alex. A lot has happened in that time. From the unfortunate incident with Mr. Donaldson to the disrupt attack on this very building. He pauses to look at you. You meet his gaze. And in that time, you've done some good work. Not to mention, I've heard some good things around the office as well. So I'm happy to inform you I've been approved a small raise in recognition. Bozeman is smiling at you now. Thank you, sir. Not at all, you've earned it. But that's not an excuse to rest on your laurels. I'm sure you've got work to be getting back to. And with that, he turns to some papers on his desk, clearly considering you dismissed. You head back to your studio, spring in your step. It's nice to get some recognition. Foregone conclusion. It's late. It's been snowing all day, and unlike everybody else, you've stayed inside as much as possible, keeping warm. Normally you enjoy the snow, but today it's been nothing more than irritant. Still, tomorrow you've got the day off and might actually be able to enjoy it. Sam always gets excited when they see the snow. When they were younger, they'd always wrap the kids up and take them out to play in it. It's been a while since that happened, though. The new place still doesn't feel quite as cozy, especially as you can't afford to put the heating on. Sam bustles in from the cold, carrying some groceries. I could use a hand, please. Lots of stairs from here to the car. Their arms are full, and they're clearly struggling to get everything to the kitchen. But then you have been at work all day, and they've spent most of it at home as usual. Sorry, of course, I'll be right there. What kind of person chooses this one? In an adventure game. As you rush over to help them with their bags, Sam shoots you a grateful smile. I got most of it, there's just a couple more left downstairs. You head out, getting most of the way to the lift before you remember it's out of order. When you grab the bags, you realize Sam has picked up everything to make fajitas your favorite. Clearly, it's not all bad. You forget the weather, the unpaid bills as you cook in your delightfully tiny kitchen, laughing together like you used to. For the first time since moving in, you think, as Sam flicks sour cream across the table at you, that you're making happy memories again. Money isn't everything. A time for reflection. It's been over 13 years since your dad died. You've visited his grave a few times since then. Normally during times of stress, or when you're trying to figure something out, or when you just want some peace and quiet. Today's no different. You feel Sam's hand on your shoulder, giving you a reassuring squeeze. You're grateful that they're still here with you. Just having them by your side always seems to make things easier. A call of ravens catches your attention as it flies away. 1978 plus 13 years. 3, that's 81. It's 1991 now. Charlie was only 8 when his grandfather died. He didn't really appreciate how big the loss was at the time, but as he got older, you did your best to pass on what your dad taught you. But now he's all grown up, he's actually starting to teach you, which is strange, but in the nicest way. You're proud of the man he's now become. Susie, despite everything she's been through, is still a rock for the rest of you. She'll be a great mother to the twins. They couldn't have found a more loving home. There have been a lot of arguments over the years, but you wouldn't change a thing. You're still amazed at how far your daughter has come. She's one of the best things in your life. Your relationship with Chris has always been a bit up and down, but as of late, you seem to be getting along. It makes a nice change, and it's certainly made life easier with Sam. But that's family, you've got to take the good with the bad. There was a crow? I didn't quite catch it. She may be in an albeit expensive care home now, but it's still comforting to know your mother is around, even if she barely recognizes you anymore. Her presence is always reassuring. You could do with that now. You turn away and wander in the direction of the car. You can't control life, what happens, who lives, and who dies. All you can do is keep going and see what gets thrown at you next. What is life if not a series of little decisions that define us? And we'll never know which ones would take us which way. Please, no more musical numbers. The finale. Here we are. 7 years since the election.
Alex, good evening.
It's the final one, chat.
Time again. Best not to focus on the problems and all that. Let's just get started. But just so you know, the problems with your equipment continue unabated. Locked buttons, screens flickering on and off, sparks and the like. I'm sure you'll manage without issue. Oh, and don't forget, you've got free reign of the SFX buttons.
Oh, good.
Make sure to use them to keep the show lively.
It almost seems like Advance has let up in some ways. Does that track? Because one thing I noticed is that our mother went to a home, but she didn't go to a
What have you got me?
a
No, come on, seriously. Not even a cake.
I'm sorry, no.
Okay, no worries.
How old are you then, Cole?
Okay, here we go. Big smiles.
I've actually gained a year. I celebrated 44 last year, but it's actually this year. It's brilliant.
You're 44.
Oh.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
not a giver home.
Tonight, I'm Megan, and I'm joined, as always, by the inimitable Robin and Patrick. How are we?
Well, we have got so much going on tonight. I'm excited.
I'd say I'm about a 12, Megan.
On the excitement scale?
Yeah, exactly. We have got so much SoCo stuff coming up.
We sure do. We have celebrity chef Jordan Rankley, who will be cooking up a storm.
We'll be announcing the winners of our big competition, Visions of the Future.
And we'll be joined by a very special guest for a game of Wheel of Truth. And I'll even be showing you how to make your own Leaders' Day gifts. We've got all of that and so much more tonight on The Nightly Show.
Don't forget the SFX buttons.
Live from the Channel 1 buildings in the heart of the Channel 1.
We are doctors, scientists, and poets. We are all these types because we are you.
I can't believe Alan James lived.
And unlike this channel, we will show it to you. You will hear some frightening things about this government. They are chilling, and they are true. We have the evidence. Understand this. There is something wrong with the food.
Oh, Soylent Green, very fun.
Right, let's have some applause on the way into the next section.
Paces by Chef Jordan Rankley.
Oh.
But first, we know you love them, so Robin's going to give us an update on our lovely Nightly Show pets in Pet Corner.
Splendid, that's the ticket.
Well, Megan, first up we have our hamster, Lord Cheeks. Now, he's a squat winter grey with the scientific name Adipem stultus, and he lives here with us in this cage. Hamsters love hoarding, and they actually have special pouches in their cheeks for storing food. He loves carrots, apples, and chewing tobacco. Now, hamsters are nocturnal, so we'll do our best not to wake him up. But let's just see.
Or cheeks. Transition center, yes.
Well, the door has been left open. It looks as though Lord Cheeks has actually gone for a little wander. But I'm sure he will be around here somewhere. In the meantime, let's say hello to our tortoise. Now, after last month's viewer vote, she is now, of course, called Slow Barbara. And don't panic, even though it is December, Babs here doesn't actually hibernate. Let's say hello. Oh, she's sleeping. Oh, Babs. Oh. Those are our Nightly Show pets, Megan, both alive and well. Back to you.
With SFX, less is more, Alex.
Or some very similar animals at the same time tomorrow. Now then, I hope you're hungry, because if not, you're about to be. Patrick Bannon is with Chef Jordan Rankley, and they're going to be showing us how to knock up a delicious apple pie. It's time to go into the kitchen.
A bit more audience reaction would be nice, Alex.
Which is it, Bozeman? Less is more or more audience reaction?
Chef Jordan Rankley, welcome to the Nightly Show kitchen. How does it compare to the kitchens you're used to?
I love the colours. It's vibrant. It's fresh. It's not about all the arseholes. Yes?
Sorry?
What?
So, you own 6 restaurants. You've been awarded 9 Ballon Massifs across your career, and you've worked alongside the best chefs in the world. Tonight you've got me. Oh, are you worried?
Am I fucking worried? Are you worried? Are you fucking worried?
Yes. So, what are we making today, chef?
So, we've got a family over for Leaders' Day. Yeah. They're hungry. We're going to make them a delicious apple pie.
Ooh, lovely.
It's got sweetness, it's got the acidity of the fruit, and then get the richness of that pastry. Incredible.
Wow, okay, so where do we start?
So we've got to start by making our filling. So we've got about 1 kilogram of fresh cooking apples here. Fucking beautiful. And we're going to slice these up perfectly. And then straight into the pan.
Your new show, Demon Kitchen Heart Eater, starts on Friday here on Channel 1, so tell us about that.
Maybe the wrong one.
Teams of young chefs come into my kitchen, and one by one I destroy them emotionally. And if there's time, I teach them some basic knife skills. Fuck me, Patrick. What are you doing?
What?
Shit. Is that how you cut? Fuck, you'll lose a fucking finger.
Oh, don't worry, I've got spares. Right, so once we've done that, we set these aside whilst we make the pastry. Yeah?
Yep. Oh. Yeah? Okay. Sugar, butter.
Yep.
We mix that together, and then a whole egg.
Yeah. Okay, egg.
What are you doing, you fucking donkey? Are your brains the size of that fucking egg?
Oh, no, chef.
No. Shit. Right. Mix that with a wooden spoon and work in that flour, okay? Work that into a nice ball of dough, just like that.
So, what does the notoriously fierce Jordan Rankley do to unwind?
Shit your bed.
Yeah.
What's that? What is that?
Well, it's a bit lumpy.
Lumpy? It could fucking pass for a sack of spuds. Touch that.
Oh.
Touch it. Yeah? Pathetic. That goes into chill. Now, we're mixing our filling.
Okay.
Apples, sugar,
yes,
cinnamon.
This is a fantastic Gordon impression, yes.
Restaurants across 5 territories. Which is your favourite?
Are you mixing that or fucking it?
What?
Are you going to light a candle? Take it out to dinner? Fucking mix it for fuck's sake. Right, now we're rolling out 2/3 of our pastry.
God.
Bit of flour into the dish.
And the filling.
Oh, Lord.
That's right.
Absolutely right. Oh, lovely. Okay. Then we're taking the remaining pastry, rolling that into a round, and that goes on the top. Beautiful.
Lovely. Okay.
Right. Brush a bit of water around the rim.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now press gently all the way around. And we're cutting 5 slashes very carefully for the steam. And then brushing the whole thing with a beaten egg.
Lovely. Okay. Egg. Ta-da!
Oh.
What do you think?
Oh my God. You, come here, you. That's a disgrace. I'd rather jam my eyeballs up my fucking arse than look at that.
Yeah.
I'd rather use my tongue to tie my shoes after a fucking shit-kicking contest. Do you understand?
Then it goes in the oven for 45 minutes.
Oh, put your fucking head in the oven while you're at it. Useless. You, come here, you. You're the worst fucking thing to happen to food since cyanide. Do you know that? I tell you what. Fuck off!
Oh.
Get the fuck out of here! Fuck off!
Okay, well, while I do that, let's go now to Megan and Robin, who will be announcing the winners of our competition.
The actors are all very good, yes.
Visions of the future.
Are you taking the piss now?
What do you mean?
Well, that looks delicious. If you want to follow along at home, then make sure you write in with a stamped addressed envelope and we'll send you the fact sheet. So, Robin, look at all these amazing entries to the Vision of the Future competition.
Yes, we challenged you to show us your predictions of the future, and we were just inundated with entries, weren't we, Megan? From wacky inventions to global problem solving, they are all amazing, and we had the best time looking through each one.
It was so tough narrowing it all down, so we have some amazing runners-up. In 3rd place, drumroll please, we have Hamish, who's 3 Welcome, Lunwelly. He calls this still life and the future of God, and it really blew us away. Just look at the line work here, and I can really feel every passionate stroke of the brush.
If you look here, you'll see a beautifully rendered, what I thought at first was a smiley face or perhaps a cat. But I think if you really look, you'll see it's actually a representation of the seeming futility of death through the eyes of the living.
Indeed. He's also chosen to just leave a lot of it blank, which I think is really interesting. If you know Hamish and his work, of course, he loves focusing on the negative space rather than the image itself.
Stunning, absolutely stunning, and such talent from one so young, Megan. But next up, we have our second place entry. So in second, drum roll please, we have Keith, 41 from Dungley.
What does that say?
Keith, we were sort of aiming this towards our younger viewers, but still, he has sent in his idea of the future, which he's calling Ravaged Earth.
Indeed, he says in his really rather detailed notes, deprived of basic resources, society will resort to a brutal system of weekly battles to the death, where only the victor may breed. He also says at the bottom here, either that or about the same, but maybe a bit worse.
I really love his attention to detail. You can see the sort of gladiatorial arena, and then what I can only assume is Keith himself pulling off this chap's head and shouting, "Come back to me, Linda!" Oh, Keith, maybe if you spent more time outdoors and less time entering children's competitions, she might not have left.
Special one there. And finally, of course, it's time to reveal our winner. All our runners-up will receive a day out at an inflatable Happy Land on an industrial estate just off the A40. Sorry about that, Keith. But our lucky winner will win the chance to spend the day at the Department of Change to see how our teammates are actually making the new future a reality every day. And the winner is, drum roll please. It's... Oh, happy with that.
I didn't like him much. I thought his man of the people act was just that, an act. But in the 6 years since he's been gone, I started to wonder if he was the only thing keeping the brakes on the team. And I'm wondering if Julia Salisbury realises that when she reflects on his passing. Or worse, that she knew all along, because then, of course, it's not reflection.
Dance, getting involved in the party, aren't they? This one seems to have gone a bit haywire in what I can only assume is an ominous sign of things to come. Lovely, Lola.
Well, if our winners have inspired you to make some artwork of your own, do keep sending them in, and yours could be displayed in our gallery here.
Well done again to everyone who took part. We're going to take
Oh.
it now, but when we come back, we'll be playing the Wheel of Truth and making some lovely homemade gifts. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Right. From what I can tell, the vision mix is getting even worse for wear, Alex. I expect things will be more challenging in this next segment, so be careful. Don't take any...
Back to Linda, yeah.
Not like all we're putting out actually matters anymore.
My flat's not far from here. I'm on the bus.
Not tonight. I'll get cars arranged for you both. Find me when you're done and I'll take you out through the loading bay.
7th grade D, I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Unity. But we see them, moving among us, clear as day, sowing division, undermining our lives and threatening our achievements.
Error alert.
They use freedom of speech to justify their discriminations.
I do appreciate that
And history
the game shows people who have
to oppress.
who have had their lives improved by the dystopian government.
They put themselves before
In the last broadcast.
in a
What was her name? Sophie? Heather?
They would decide what kinds of relationships are natural. They would exploit the vulnerable for personal gain. And they would eradicate betterment in exchange for a noose. They see themselves and their narrow view
Among Us.
Playing
as the
havoc with the
status
sound.
quo
It's bad out there. It's being
predetermined
stretched again.
and
Use a
inevitable.
high-pass filter. It's a
They
revolution,
would see
Colin.
themselves at the top of a hierarchy built.
Does a revolution happen?
Where's Glyn? Can we get him out here? I'm not sure about this grandma one.
Oh, he's writing with our other guest at the moment.
But I just wouldn't say grandma.
Grandmother?
Yes, grandmother's arsehole. That's much better.
Oh, Okay, everyone, if I could have your attention, please. Sarah just needs a word.
Apparently there's been some sort of disturbance near the studio. Now, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, but I wanted to let you know that I've asked for extra security and they're already on their way.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, 10 seconds, so positions and pose.
Okay, this time you've said it.
Laughing, and we're going in 5, 4, 3.
Has the audience gone to sleep? Remember the SFX button.
Oh my god.
Wait to taste Patrick's pie. Oh, I don't know. I think I could wait.
Well, here it is, fresh out the oven.
Oh, well, it does look amazing. Jordan, how did our Patrick do?
Well, let's just say that pie's got more crust than my grandmother's arsehole.
Oh. Well, thank you for that. Well, come on, try it. Dig in.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Oh my god. Oh lord.
And a little glass of comfort for Robert, I think.
But now you better go and get ready for that next feature. Every night we play a game of Wheel of Truth with our celebrity guests. But I know what you're thinking. Megan, we've only got one celeb guest. Well observed, viewers, well observed. Well then, I better bring her out.
One for the state of the nation.
Surprise guest, what do you think?
And one
Here
for
she
me.
is, best-selling author, lawyer and thinker. I mean, she's only the bloomin' team leader. It's Julia Audrey.
I think you might be using those sound effects a little too much there.
Oh, shut up.
It's so good to see you.
Oh, Megan, you look incredible.
Stop it. I was just about to say the same thing. Now, don't get too comfortable. It's time to head over to Robin and Patrick as we play Wheel of Truth.
Spice it up with some audience responses, Alex.
That's right. It's that part of the show where we pit our celebs against each other to see if we can break them.
That's right, Robin. They're gonna spin the wheel to pick a round, and it could be anything from box of flies to slap my face. They really have no idea.
Lovely.
what's in store.
So up first we have Jordan. Let's give it a spin.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, let's see what you've landed on. Okay, it's fact or fib. Jordan, is it true that you've been known to order takeaway for a dinner party and pass it off as your own cooking?
It's one fucking time. Once
You know that is
that pie was anything to go by, you did them a favour.
that
Not so
that wording has to be a steamed hams reference.
heard. You've got a very interesting way of saving time during the laundry.
Oh my god!
Why don't you tell us about it?
You absolutely no. I don't. Okay, what so don't. Okay, what
Perfect.
Once, we fought and died for the right to an informed choice. We had journalists we could trust, so we made decisions for the common good. Then we took it for granted. And now we have bread and circuses. So eat your sandwiches and enjoy your clowns while you can.
I can't win!
No! Honestly, raise my taxes. We're clearly not paying you enough.
Come to my dressing room after the show. We'll sort you out.
Are you blushing, Patrick? Is all this talk of bras embarrassing you?
I mean, I'm not blushing. Come on then, you, Julia. Spin the bloody wheel.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. It's guess that face. I'm going to show you a picture and you simply have to guess that face. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Julia. Oh, who's that?
Oh my god!
Is that you?
Yes! Look, it was a very difficult time fashion-wise.
That
hairdo is fucking hilarious.
No, don't. I think it's sweet.
Well, is this popular now? Is it ever been?
Oh, well, don't get too ahead of yourself there. Jordan, who is this? Does that look familiar at all?
Wow! Well, I'm glad that I was getting fashion advice from someone who managed to make 7 look like 85.
Just what the doctor ordered.
look like I'm haunting the fucking place.
right, we've got to move on. Jordan, let's have another spin.
Okay, here
It's my go time.
You go on. Sorry, I'm so keen. Let's go so much.
That had to have been improv.
Yeah. It's fact or fish. Okay, if you look under your podiums, you will find a lovely fish smoothie. Now, I'm going to ask you both a question, and all you have to do is answer it honestly, or else you'll have to drink the smoothie. Okay? Are you ready for the question?
Oh, a bit too many sound effects on there, Alex.
Which of your esteemed hosts is the more talented one? Oh, what a cop out!
How is it? How is it?
Fucking neutral. Oh, we made it extra fishy.
I need my fucking mouth. Do you know how much these taste buds are worth?
Well, we've got time for one more quick spin, so go, Julia, go!
Here goes my goodness.
Okay, so, Julia, take a look in that box under your desk there.
I think Lord Cheeks is trying to get in on the game. Bless him.
Julia, what have you got in that box? It's not cheese, is it?
Another one, Mr. Bozeman. Don't mind if I do, Mr. Bozeman.
Ling balls? What am I supposed to do with these?
Well, give it a go for us.
But I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing.
Come on. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh, she's doing it. She's fucking doing it.
Wow, that was so impressive. I have to say, unexpected. Well, God, that was our game of Wheel of Truth, and my God, wasn't that fun?
Okay.
That hit the spot.
But now it's time to head over to Megan in Crafty Corner.
With SFX, less is more, Alex.
That's right, you join me in Crafty Corner, where today I'm going to be ably assisted by Julia. Come on over here. Goodness me, I don't know how you're keeping your dinner down. I can still smell that fish.
Well, to be honest, I've had worse. I used to eat at Peter Clement's house.
Oh, well, I hope you've got your artsy hat on, because today we're going to be making something very close to my heart. It's our little studio. Look at that. Isn't it adorable? All of us there on the sofa.
Wow. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, is that all you in there?
Yeah, it is. If we can just get a little zoom in, there we are. Oh, I don't know about you, Julia, but I always leave my holiday shopping to the last minute.
Oh, every year. I do it every year.
Well, luckily these make amazing gifts. Shall we get cracking?
Oh, well, not much left in the bottle.
Start.
Pity not to.
Shoebox here. And Julia, that's it. Grab those scissors. I just want you to get rid of this front panel here.
Perfect. Will do.
Are you big celebrators in your house, Julia?
Oh, yes. No, in my house we show our love through food, like big dinners, loads of drinks.
Absolutely right. That's the best bit about any holiday. It's all that food.
This bit as well.
Absolutely right. Cutting along the line there. Do be careful with the scissors at home. Make sure you're being supervised if you
tough.
are a child. There we go. Fabulous.
There we go.
Okay, so it's going to look a little something like this, and I've got one here I made earlier. We painted it with a bit of poster paint, white to match our lovely curtains here in the studio, but you can obviously have whichever backdrop you like.
Like a nice shiny gold number.
Well, exactly right. So we're going to make bits of our set now to put in the studio, perhaps a little desk. So I'm just going to grab this piece of card. I've just got it from a little cereal box packet. I think I'll give you this one, Julia. Shall I?
Thank you
There
so
you
much.
go. And all you need to do is cut along the lines there. Fabulous. So what's the best part of any Leaders' Day dinner, do you reckon?
I don't even have to think about it. Really? I love the 3 potato pie.
3 potato pie? I don't know that one.
You know, with the chips covered in the mash or wrapped up in a jacket potato. Is that just me that does that? I don't know, but that sounds
Kind of good.
Well done, Julia. So now she's folding over a little bit there. What it's going to look like at the end is this little rectangular shape there. And we're going to pop it in the middle. Bit of sticky tape on the back there so it sticks down. Now we need a sofa. That's what we need next. We're going to make that out of a lovely paper cup.
Knocking
down there. Knocking it all over.
I got one though, Megan.
Good, fantastic. We're just going to cut along the line here, down the middle. Exactly right. Then when you've done that, around the bottom and again around the top. Well done. When you're done,
oh, there we go.
It's going to look
It's
And look what I've done there. I've stuck some felt down. Nice and comfortable. So
I think this game maybe should have been one broadcast shorter.
well, absolutely not.
She'll be on the phone to her tiny agent and getting someone tiny fired.
Yeah. Well, there's only one thing missing, isn't there, Julia? What is that?
A higher caliber of guests.
Nearly. It's people. So all we've done to make our little people is we've stuck a cocktail stick into a bottle cap. We just need a face for that now. I've got a good one here. I know it well. It's me.
Lovely.
I'm going to stick it down there. A little bit of sticky tape. Oh, my felt's going everywhere. There we go. Oh, I'm a bit lonely. Let's take Robin and Patrick over. Sitting down on the couch over there.
There you go. And well, I'll make myself just comfortable just there. Yeah, there we go.
And these, of course, are all made and cut out of our...
Bucci moved to the side. Her?
Have any guests you like. Julia, is there anyone else you'd like in a studio?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm going to be playing Wheel of Truth with Ronnie from Heat Rash.
Nice.
Yes, put that away. Yes, he's going to be teaching me choreography, and I'll be teaching him foreign policy.
And of course, you can decorate them however you want. Perhaps you're a bit, I don't know, nostalgic for the old look of our studio. We've got the blue studio down there. Or even a bit of retro red. I've got Sheila Quickstep being interviewed there by... Oh, sorry, that's not supposed to be...
Oh, Mama, that's blazing. Oh, bloody hell, is this still on?
It's time for a break. When we come back, I'll be on the couch of chat talking to some of you, and I just cannot wait. We'll be back after these messages.
Why do we bother, Alex? What's the point? It's not like this is even close to journalism anymore. How did I let it get this far?
You did remember. You're coming with me.
Should we be worried? We've got the Prime Minister.
It is a great craft.
She's the reason for the extra security.
Are we going to need it?
Possibly. They're back.
It's not very reassuring.
I know. Good thing I'm not your mum, right?
Well, we got a B on that segment. It's better than I thought that we would do. This one's called the finale. It has to be the last bit. It's interesting that they're saying what territories are what.
Though we're sure the happy parents of the 12 new children in Territory 3 will be thanking their lucky stars for an excuse to stay home. Though, of course, nothing to do with stars. More of a hot air, cold air thing. Next, this front of warm smiles heads
at the
across
same time,
Territory
Colin.
5, who are still under a blanket of snow.
That is not a thing.
Oh yeah, tortoises runs in my family. The Sprongs are huge in circuses and casino halls.
Well, there would be.
And brothels, obviously.
Oh.
Everybody okay in here?
Yeah, thank
Yeah, we would be if you stopped asking us questions like that.
Okay, so I looked it up. What did you look up?
But nothing serious. You might hear some noises, but it's nothing to be concerned about. The services know what they're
He says this isn't the last one.
When the shooting starts, okay? The show must go on and all that. Tits and teeth. Oh, sorry, Prime Minister.
How many more are after this one?
Tits and teeth, armed and ready.
10 seconds, everybody. Oh, kill
Best
me.
in the business, she is.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the nightly show where it's time for the Prime Minister to face the toughest critics in the territories. You lot out there.
Call us on the usual numbers with your questions for the Prime Minister.
First up, we have Humphrey from Hamble Bamblebury.
Lovely place. I'm hoping to return there.
Oh, good choice.
Are you there, Humphrey? Hello, Humphrey. We appear appear to have lost Humphrey. We'll try and get him back, but let's...
This is the last one. Okay.
Time. Who have we got next, Patrick?
Next up, we've got Mandy from Arsminster. Oh, I don't think I'll be retiring there.
Hi, Mandy. You're through to the Prime
You
Minister.
type that, okay, good.
Hello? Mandy? What's going on, Jenny?
Oh, we try not to talk to the crew.
Jenny?
The lines are down.
Oh, well, call down to maintenance and get...
We can't. All the lines are down.
Well, apologies to our viewers at home. We seem to have a few technical gremlins making mischief behind the scenes. So while we're getting back up and running, Patrick has a couple of questions that were sent in by our viewers earlier this week.
I do?
It's your letter.
Oh, yes. Yes, no, of course I do. Well, our first question is from Patricia, who lives on Camera Avenue. And what she...
George Glass.
Lock the door! Lock the fucking door!
Listen to the CCO! Seal the door!
Oh, finally.
You're Jenny, aren't you? Come here. Don't be afraid, Jenny. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt anyone if we don't have to. All I want you to do is to keep the show on the air. Do you understand? Just do your job and everything will be all right.
And here come the ratings.
Don't be afraid, Jenny.
You two, on your knees over there. Move! So, this is the famous couch of chat, eh?
I don't answer questions at gunpoint, Mr. James.
Oh. You're not at gunpoint, Prime Minister. They are.
Oh, please don't kill me, please. Nevertheless, if you think I'm going to answer to you, then I'm afraid
you don't have to answer to me, Julia. Are the doors locked and sealed?
Yes, sir. No one's getting in or out.
Good. Good. All clear.
Good. Thank you. Yes, good.
Jeremy?
Hello, you.
Why didn't you make contact?
It would have only put you in their crosshairs. I'm sorry.
You're a rotten, selfish bastard.
Yes. Keep the show going for me.
Of course.
Let them go, Alan. There'll be no killing tonight.
Hello. Sorry, I don't...
The hilarious crowd reaction.
Is that what you're telling yourself, is it?
They should never have given me free reign over the audience reactions.
Me too. Would you like your spot?
It's yours now. You wear it well. So, let's talk, shall we?
Armed security are on their way, Mr. Donaldson. I know you know that.
Well, we best make use of the time we have then, eh?
Well, I'll leave you to it then.
No. I think we should stay too.
For safety.
For balance. Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Let's welcome back the National Monthly News. Tonight I'm joined by probably the two most influential people in the country, if not the continent. So let's see if we can't kick over a few rocks and see what's lurking underneath. Prime Minister, if I could turn to you first.
I have nothing to hide.
Except that which is already hidden. Prime Minister, what is norethindrone?
I beg your pardon?
Norethindrone. It's used in birth control, among other things. If you haven't heard of that, perhaps you could enlighten us in regards to Agrobacterium tumefaciens.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Donaldson.
Well, that suggests a lack of attention to detail, Prime Minister. It's a bacterium used in the genetic modification of an organism. And I found traces of both these substances in every single one of the menu centre food boxes that I've had analysed from across the territories, if you're wondering.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, Prime Minister. I'm just pointing out the facts.
Oh my God. Is that why Kate and I can't have...
So you blamed it on the radioactive clouds from your bombs?
Before Stacey, we tried so many times.
Prime Minister, is there something wrong with the food?
Fine. You want the truth? You think it'll help your viewers sleep at night? Well, here it is. 6 years ago, when we came to power, we got access to the real facts and figures. And they told us we were doomed.
That was eco-fascism the whole time. Who knew?
Sustainable rate. Within 50
Who could have possibly guessed?
of natural resources, we would war over fuel, and then inevitably food and clean water. It was no exaggeration to say that we were facing extinction. It was supposed to be opt-out contraception, an end to unwanted children, a chance to rebalance, but...
Wait, are they lesbians?
Testing phase.
Yes, actually, Jeremy is gay and Megan is a lesbian.
I never.
Or at least they're Malems and Wooloos.
And blame the sterility on the bombs.
Oh, please don't lecture me on morality, Mr. James. Your hands are far too dirty for that.
Disrupt only did what had to be done.
Disrupt are not the answer. You'll just take us to an even more extreme version of where we were before. Your miserable policies will kill us all.
I'm not the one who built the transition centres.
No, you're from a time where people didn't even have the basic right to choose how and when to die.
You turned children against their parents.
We enabled you
This is...
about the abuse that they were facing. And guess what? Most of that abuse came from within their own families.
Identity cards!
Oh, grow up!
Sterilised us against our will.
I built a sustainable future.
That's too much. That's not for you to choose.
Well, if not me, then who? Who would choose it for themselves?
And isn't that at the heart of all this? You don't trust us to choose. You think you know best, you know what's good for us, and if we disagree with you, then you'll send us to betterment. That's why there's no news anymore, because there's no choice, so there's no point.
There should be elections.
Elections have been suspended.
Time to unsuspend them then. If you want to carry on, you'll need a mandate. We have people ready to stand against you in every territory.
So, let's turn to you, Mr. James.
All politics are bad, it turns
I
out.
want to assure the public that though disrupt are occasionally forced to violent means, we are not by nature a violent organisation.
Jenny?
Yes, Jeremy?
Could you have this queued up for us, please?
Of course, Jeremy. It'd be a pleasure.
Was that from Disrupt Leadership?
In a way. Mr. James, before you launch into your rather premature election campaign, I think it'd be useful for the viewers at home if you were to also answer a question or two.
Of course. When we come to power, one of the first things we'll do is restore a free press. The truth is very important. No more hidden secrets.
Much like maths.
If you say so. From whom do you take your orders, by the way?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're Disrupt's spokesman, but for whom do you speak?
You know I can't tell you. It's too dangerous for me to say.
Don't worry. I don't share those concerns. You see, I've met with them almost 5 years ago now, back when I was a news anchor. And I also met with them a week ago to discuss tonight's activities. I think they wanted to check that I'd stick to the script, which really shows how little they know me. So this time, I wore a hidden camera. Would you like to see a little of what we discussed?
No, you can't. She'll have them arrested. They'll be dead by morning.
Not an unfair assessment.
Fortunately, it's not up to me. It's up to Alex in the broadcast room. What screen, Jenny?
Screen 4.
No, you can't. My people will stop you. Cut the power to your machines.
Well, I would imagine mine will be doing their level best to ensure that Mr. Donaldson's footage gets the airing it deserves. After all, my security forces will be here soon, and I imagine this will end very badly for all of you.
Queued up and ready.
Thank you, Jenny. Alex, showing this will have consequences. For someone not showing it, it's up to you.
Alex, you got us this far. Please don't fall at the last hurdle.
Oh damn, glad I'm not making this choice.
All our good work, all the years of disrupting. You could make it all for nothing. Please, don't play that footage.
And you're absolutely certain in your research?
It's unpalatable but true. Advance are covertly sterilising the population.
Why don't you just release this through your normal channels?
Mr. James is surprisingly efficient rabble-rouser. The peasants respond to his more earthly qualities. But you, Mr. Donaldson, are a face they trust.
We did not risk our operatives' lives to rescue you out of altruism.
And afterwards? Once all this is out in the open?
We anticipate considerable unrest, possibly riots.
Followed, of course, in the restoration of democratic elections, under our control, of course.
Nature abhors a vacuum. You, Mr. Donaldson, will create that vacuum, and we should be there to fill it.
That will take considerable resources. From what I understand, Advance took your wealth.
The visible billions, yes.
Some markets still prosper.
Excuse me, that's Alex, you mad lass.
And those with carnal desires for livestock of all ages. A lucrative business indeed.
And then there are the foreign powers, outside the territories. Those who fear to follow the fate of my glorious Erkistan. For them, no price is too high.
Folks like us are always well-resourced. You need have no concern about that. We have the required funds to fight and to win.
And once the fight is done, to make sure this aberrance is never seen again. A return to the natural order of things. The wheat rises to the top and the chaff is burned away. No more living side by side with ill-educated savages. Let the plebs pile up in the ghettos.
Yeah.
Strict order, an end to ungodly acts. Everyone back in their place.
Including our Mr.
That doesn't rhyme.
It amazes me how he cannot hear the Damoclean sword as it dangles above his head.
No, he is an ignorant bull. He sees only the red cape in front of him, never the hidden blade.
And so it is with the low orders. They are lost in this new world.
They will gladly walk back to Old One, and they will be ours again, as it should be.
Excellent.
Excellent.
You've set me up.
No, Alan, you did that to yourself.
Now do you understand what you're doing?
Do you understand why we have to?
Pathetic. Neither of you recognises your own reflection.
How long, Jenny?
For long, I imagine. For any of you.
Security are outside. They've been here for 5 minutes, but they're not doing anything. Turns out there's a lot of them who wanted children. We're already a few minutes over, Megan, but with ratings like this, Bozeman's no fool.
Do you want to take us out?
It should be you.
It should be both of us. You start.
Before we go tonight,
one final thought.
There's so much to digest here. What's happened tonight in this political circus.
The tent is collapsing and the ringmasters have lost their glitter.
There will be elections. Soon, I'd imagine. You'll be able to choose.
These two will run. A choice between a shit sandwich and a cold cup of soup. A circus of horrors.
Two extremes, both offering their own form of misery.
You can choose Advance and be equal.
In cages, like performing lions.
Or disrupt and be free.
To struggle and starve.
Or you can do something different. You can run. You can stand. You can stop promoting the way things are and change it.
You're good people, and you are sensible people. You know the difference between right and wrong.
So stop whinging and do something. Take responsibility, because if you don't, it'll all be left to these clowns.
And that's the worst circus of all.
My name's Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf.
Have a transformative night.
And then make tomorrow better.
And we're out. You're done. This programme, this channel, all
No,
of you.
Julia, not them. We're done. They got us both.
Your security team say they'll escort you when you're ready. We can call you a taxi, Alan.
Where would I go?
Is now
Wherever
available
you
for
want.
all. These stories
Am
from
I
my
under
formative
arrest?
years in the uneven past are lovingly narrated by National Treasure Lawrence Blunderclash.
My bosses won't be pleased with you.
Child sex traffickers and wannabe dictators. The natural enemies of the reporter.
We should go and see Bozeman.
After much pacing,
We'll do it together.
I confess,
Yes.
a few tears.
And then
I
we'll
settled
burn
on
this
a
set.
zip-back boxy creep.
I like that. I think that's a very fitting ending. Lawrence Blunderclatch remains beloved in the nation and hated in the industry. Jesus is still seeking funding to get to the moon. He also needs scientists and engineers. Lil C's career has moved from strength to strength. She has recently released a line of scented candles and a sex tape. Low-hanging balls have become this year's must-have genitalia at the Capital's Fashion Week. Sophia Remington did not seem surprised. 20 years after David Ningran's bitter divorce, baby Dante developed his superpowers and destroyed all marine life south of the equator. Despite the setback of dying, Johnny is still a regular contributor to Channel 1's Talk the Sports, where he currently speaks through psychic Wayne to Spirit Whistle. That's very funny. While it dragged a bit, the ending to some extent did justify it. I agree. I love Lawrence Blunderclatch as Dr. Strange. Yeah. Jeremy is wonderful. Jeremy sincerely made this game. Everyone did a fantastic job, to be honest. I don't think there was a single performance in that game that I thought, you know, was lacking. Each one was just pretty much what it needed to be. Despite her death, Helena Canterbury-Boatshoe continues to work. She recently won the Best Actor award for her role as the Mafia boss's paperweight. Jeremy and Megan together, especially the chemistry, yes. Pleasure Corp's upward trajectory seems unstoppable. There's only been one luxury cruise disaster, and even then almost half the passengers survived. The telethon. We didn't play the telethon. I'm going to leave that for you all to play. I do highly recommend buying this game if you're able. There are a lot of endings, live stories. When I clicked over to see, Crazy Neil lives in the capital with his 9th and 10th wives. He now sells mostly indulgences. I think, you know, I went to look up other Jeremy endings and their, endings, quote-unquote, the Heatwave ending. And, there were so many little news bits that I had no context for whatsoever. So it's really impressive how much there is in this game. Oh my god, there were so many songs. We didn't even hear most of these. The picturesque town of St. Bumley on the Taint continues to thrive. The whole was recently named an area of outstanding natural beauty.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
The votes are in, and it's a decisive win for Accord. The new centralist party snatched victory from under the noses of the mainstream parties.
Incoming Prime Minister Fatima Chowdhury called Accord's win proof that the major parties had lost the trust of the nation and signalled the end of extremist politics.
Neither Advance nor Disrupt, who failed to garner even 10% of the vote between them, have released a statement.
Later, we'll be looking in detail at the election results across the nation before Jeremy brings us a report on the recent unrest in Valdez.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Epilogue Room. You have reached and you have unlocked and reached an accord. You have found one of 14 epilogues. My God. All Fall Down, Middle Ground, Wacky Fun. They all full names too. Changing of the Guard, Jeremy's Injustice, All Fall Down, Julia's Judgment, Bright Future, Wacky Fun, The Middle Ground, Under New Management, Renewed Mandate, Chaos Reigns, A New Leaf, A Better Jeremy, Inevitable Advancement. My God.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight.
Yes, highly recommend. Very good game. That's going to be it. Not going to be too much of a ramble at the end here. It's a good game. Very much worth the money, very much worth the time. Even the parts that dragged still had a lot of fun in them. And this is definitely a game where I feel that us playing it wouldn't diminish the fun that you all might have, just because there's so much that we didn't see.
Yes, the people never happy. It never enough.
So,
Cannot believe you do that.
thank you for watching, and thank you for being with me. I've not done this sort of thing before, and it's not exactly natural for me, but I had fun playing this game. Perhaps I'll play another game sometime.
We're only getting started.
Alright. Be well, everyone.